The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93
Daylight Saving Time presents 1 hour into the future. Congratulations! By utilizing spring-forward technology, you have successfully traveled 1 hour into the future.
But daylight savings time is proof that it is more important how you ask people to do something than what you ask them to do. Because if the President of the United States got up and said, listen, everyone's going to have to go to work 1 hour earlier. If you get there at 6, I don't care. You're going to have to be there at 5. Your kids are going to have to go to school earlier. They're going to be grumpy, and I don't care. That's just the way it's going to be. No one would agree to that. But instead, he's like, hey, you know what? That was a stupid idea. We're not going to do that. Instead, we're just going to have you move your clock ahead 1 hour. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, sure. That sounds like we might be saving some daylight, huh?
I'm confused by people who are thrown off by daylight savings time. Because it is not a big deal. People try to make it a big deal. Twice a year, you will hear people say things like, oh, I'm sorry, man, I'm all screwed up because of daylight savings time. What? It's just an hour, but still, twice a year, people, is this milk still good? Who is the president?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Enjoy your 6-month stay here in Future World.
the weekend.
Yeah. Welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. The day before Daylight Saving Time Day edition of our radio program. We got a theme for everything around here, Cubby.
Well, you got to, right? It keeps the days from blending together.
Let's get this over with. The day before Daylight Savings Time edition of our program will feature a Dad Fights trivia battle between Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder at 8 a.m. And by God, some other things will happen too. Some other things. But today
anything in particular?
I have no idea.
But some things will most likely happen.
I can guarantee you.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Today's it for us. Our final for the week, for the work week. We're not going to get a phone call saying they want us to come in tomorrow, are we, Josh?
I wouldn't think so.
You think we'll get a phone call?
No. Why would you ask that? That's terrifying. I've got plans tomorrow morning.
No, it'll probably be a text. Or an email.
Yeah. You're right. Calls don't really happen around here too much.
Right.
Unless it's bad. If the phone rings, you think, oh, no, what happened?
Absolutely.
It's uncool to make an old school phone call unless it's something really bad. They better not call us in because I just won't show up. I got nothing left to give. We're not treated very well around here. I'd like to go work for a different radio station.
Yeah, I disagree. I think there was...
Is your phone ringing right now?
Is my phone ringing?
Is that the boss's?
Nope.
Okay.
But he's calling.
Did you get a text?
No. I'm honestly, I don't know what's going on here. I know you're setting something up.
I'm not setting anything up.
What am I missing? Am I the only one that doesn't get what's happening?
No, I don't either.
I'm with you.
That's exactly where I was going with it. I just wanted all of you to look at each other and wonder what the hell was going on.
Yeah,
I'm in a weird mood. I wanted to try to start some stress and some trouble. I apologize. It's just maybe it's a little too early for it, but I just wanted to get you all in a panic, and I apologize.
There was just more confusion, and I didn't want to kill a bit. I figured a bit was about to happen, but I was totally lost. Well, since we're doing weird things, I had a weird thought this morning. And I wasn't going to bring it up, but the weirdness is already out there. And this is a total stoner thought. I reached into my wallet, and there was cash in there, which doesn't happen very often.
I know I check every morning. There's rarely cash in that wallet.
It's disappointing, isn't it?
It is. It sucks.
Sometimes there's cash. The kids come home. The cash is gone. I don't know what happened. But one of the dollars had burn marks on it. And I thought, I wonder what was going on in the life of the person that had this when it almost caught on fire. And there was a couple spots where so were they trying to start it in a couple spots? Was this a nefarious individual? Was this maybe somebody who's committed a crime or worse? And then I went on to think, I wonder who the most famous person to have the same dollar I have in my hand right now is. Like if I ever had cash where George Clooney once had that same $10, and he I don't know what would George Clooney do with $10? Snort cocaine? I don't know what he would do with it.
Nah, he uses hundreds for that.
You have a very creative mind.
Well, it more weirded me out that I don't know why that popped into my head, but I was wondering who the most famous celebrity, maybe any of us have ever held the same cash a famous celebrity used. Maybe, whether that be an athlete or a politician, actor, musician, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's very interesting that just a burn mark on a dollar bill sent you down that route. Do you have the dollar? Can I look at it?
Oh, Jesus.
You spent it, didn't you?
I'm getting a phone call from the boss.
Oh, I knew it. And you guys
no.
You guys are acting like I'm nuts.
I did spend it. It's Friday, so why? I treated myself to a Diet Mountain Dew. It's Friday.
Yeah.
It's my Friday.
So they used to. Some people would put stamps on like dollar bills, and it was like track my Washington.
Yeah, they still do that.
Yeah,
people are saying there's a website called where'sgeorge.com.
Yeah, there we go. And then you can like track where your dollar bill has been.
Who has that kind of free time?
I have no idea.
And how would they know?
Fire up the
serial number on the dollar bill or whatever.
Yeah, that's the last thing I want to do. I've worked at a couple banks, and you don't want to know where that money has been.
Who tracks the serial number on a dollar bill?
If it like goes through a business or something, you file all that.
They do
garbage. I thought
like when I hand $1 to the convenience store for a can of chew, they track the serial number and.
Yeah, I thought they did.
They put it.
I can't
imagine that.
I mean, they have to know how much is in circulation, right?
Yeah, they put it in those envelopes, at the business, and then they bring it to the bank, and then the bank takes care of it from there.
I would like to know if that's all true.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I guess now that I think about it, when I worked at banks, we never did anything like that. We never like logged the money. It was just like, hey, cash. But maybe like the people that come and pick it up.
Picture the
like
person.
The people?
Picture the person behind the counter at your neighborhood convenience store. Do they look like they're spending all day writing down serial numbers?
No,
you know what I'm saying?
It just like goes in the register, and then from there, at the end of the night, they take the money, put it in a bag, and then off it goes.
Yeah, right. I'm guessing like the vault people.
Yeah.
Have something to do with that. Yeah.
This is
the vault people.
The vault people.
The people that come and they get the money from the vault.
Yeah, I'm thinking like the people under the stairs.
the brink guys or whatever.
Like
I'd like somebody to text in and tell us if this is an actual thing. If serial numbers are tracked from store to store to store to store, and you can. I don't.
Imagine
it's something that's never entered my mind.
Imagine if one of your dollars, Nick, was somehow in Anna Nicole Smith's G-string 25, 30 years ago.
That'd be fascinating. That really would be fascinating. So here's the deal. It's Friday. This is it for us. What else did I have in mind here? Daylight savings time. Right. You started the program with daylight savings time. That's a big deal. I feel like we just did this.
Well, yeah, about, in November?
Yep.
Really? It was only, okay. All right, we got that going for us.
I'm going to jump in quick because I feel like we should have known better. Cash cannot be traced. That is why criminals pay with cash.
Duh.
Duh. Yeah.
So is
cash cannot be traced.
Yeah, it says while they have serial numbers, there's no way to keep track of who owns that bill.
Well, don't they keep track of money when you rob a bank?
Yeah. It says some banks do keep a record of a few of the serial numbers, but not every dollar like that.
I don't think we're going to figure out what the hell we're talking about before the end of today's show.
Banks are crazy, man.
Crazy.
High Hopes
stuff.
McGee Jesus said, this sounds like stoner talk. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That was a stoner thought that popped into my head. Yeah, I thought, in the movies they say, they'll track the serial numbers.
Yeah.
You got to launder that somehow.
Somebody said they worked at several banks and gas stations. They never tracked serial numbers unless it was our bait money. Where you track down that serial number then if it gets robbed or stolen.
Aha.
I don't know. That's all very interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'll be able to get a definitive answer one way or the other on what exactly happens with our cash money. I used to get a kick out of every once in a while you run into a 1 or a 5 where someone has written some kind of bizarre message on it. Sometimes people would take liberties with the photo on the dollar bill.
Sure.
Make a little caricature.
Little joint coming out of the mouth or something.
Sometimes you'd see a marijuana cigarette. Things that we did before there was an internet.
I like, around Halloween with the kids, or Halloween. I do that all the time. Easter. Around Easter with the kids, we would get $2 bills at the bank, and they'd put a little Easter bunny, right there in the middle. So you have an Easter bunny dollar.
Oh, cool.
There's a lot of fun involved.
That was a thing.
A lot of fun involved.
I was always told to keep my $2 bills and 50-cent coins or half dollars. That's a technical term.
Okay.
I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I saved $2 bills too, Wobble.
It was just like they're so rare. You gotta keep them. I'm like, okay.
I know a coin collector.
Yeah,
I don't think you meet many of those people anymore, but I know
my girlfriend's dad's a coin collector.
Right, they're all ancient people.
Yeah. You remember, what was it, the something mint, those commercials that would be on late night TV?
Yeah.
Yep.
These are never young people. I know one coin collector, and they're as old as the hills.
Did you guys ever have that board with the states and you would collect the state quarters?
Yeah. Yep.
No, I did
I
not.
can picture exactly what you're talking about.
I did that once, and then I needed weed money, so that's what happened to that.
A word?
Picture a 14-year-old Waffle buying weed in quarters.
It's like those people that bought the pizza with crypto.
Yeah.
You probably just threw away a big investment.
Yeah. They was like back in the day, you're scrounging through your car trying to get $3.50 for a gallon of gas.
Yup.
Don't be surprised if you see Dana masturbating in public today because it's National Retro Video Game Day.
Well, I celebrate every day, but today's the big day.
He's going to do it at the arcade today.
Masturbate?
Yeah. At your favorite game.
Okay.
National Retro Video Game Day.
You're on.
I won't put it past me.
Are you going to go to the arcade or anything like that?
Yeah, I'll probably run through the arcade today.
Do you have a ceremony or is there a service at some point?
Yeah, and I lead it. All the disciples come in and we bow down and praise.
That's a scary gang, the disciples.
you part the sea of retro video
Yeah,
games.
we all bow down and pray to our favorite video classic arcade game.
That's a fun mental picture.
I'm going to take my wife to dinner for International Women's Day today. Show how much I
Nice.
appreciate her.
Ooh.
Ashley, is there anything in particular gentlemen should think of on International Women's Day? Something you'd appreciate, perhaps?
Maybe just the fact that we're incredible in every way, shape, and form.
Agreed. Agreed.
There's never been any question about that, Ashley. Absolutely incredible.
Flaw-free, I often say.
Absolutely, Josh.
And mean it.
But I think we define you as incredible in different ways. Sometimes.
Did you hear what Ashley did? Oh my God, that is incredible.
No, what did I miss?
You said incredible in different ways.
Yes. Sometimes we dudes define you as, oh man, she's incredible. And sometimes it's more like, oh my God, effing incredible. You know what I mean?
That's true.
International Women's Day. There's so many things going on at once today.
That's a big day.
But back to National Retro Video Game Day. Boy, I think the first video game that I ever handled at an arcade, boy, Cubby. Probably Asteroids.
Oh, that might have been mine as well.
Probably Asteroids.
Could you play, oh my God, is it Pong? Could you play that in an arcade? I remember my uncle had an Atari and we played it on that.
If I did play it at an arcade, I don't remember it, but I do remember getting the home version.
Love that game.
They did have a very early version of Pong in the arcades back in the 70s.
Was it before the Atari version?
I believe so, yes. Mm-hmm.
What was that?
I believe I played that in the arcade then.
What was that game where you had 3 different bases and then things would
Missile
attack?
Command.
Oh, I think that was my first.
Yeah, Missile
Arcade
Command's an
video
old
game.
school one. Yeah.
You guys
love
like Defender at all?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I loved Defender.
I don't think I played that.
What about Joust?
Joust is fun.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
that was fun. You hated that too?
Yep.
No, I like that.
You hate fun.
I hated Defender and I hated Joust.
I thought those were great. What do you hate about jousting on a giant ostrich or whatever the heck that was?
You pretty much stated it right there. Pretty much stated it right there.
Josh, I love Defender.
Yeah, that was a fun game.
What I hated about Defender is that you had to control the thrust and send your jokes to 68683. How do we? 6519899. I hated that you had to control the thrust of your vehicle in the old school video game Defender.
I don't think
where other games comparable to Defender, you didn't have to worry about the thrust of your vehicle. You just kind of hovered in place, and that's what I hated about Defender. And Jousted, it was the fact that I was a character on the back of an ostrich.
You know those guys are just tripping on shrooms. Like, what if we did jousting, but instead of horses, it's
for Christ's
flying
sake,
ostriches.
Name a video game. They were all drug-fueled nightmares is what they were, at least back in the early days.
Angry Postal Worker Shiza said the best Atari game, Space Invaders. I did like that one.
You know what? Now that someone said that out loud, that was the first arcade game I ever played. Space F me running invaders. Yes, it was not Asteroids. Asteroids was the first home game that I ever got put in my lap.
Please tell me you liked Pitfall.
Yes.
Okay, good.
It was a lot of fun. You're swinging from ropes. You're avoiding alligators.
Yeah, I thought that was a great game.
Sure. Pitfall was a lot of laughs.
Galaga, you a fan?
I was one of the best in the county at Galaga between the years 1985 and 1987.
Galaga's so fun.
What was the crappy overhead racing game with 3 different wheels? You could play your friends, and you would go
Tron?
around. No, you would go around like
3 wheels?
Yeah.
What do you mean 3 wheels?
Like there was 3 different wheels.
Steering wheels.
Oh, steering
so your
wheels.
friends could play, and then you had like cars. And it was like,
right. It almost looked like a go-kart track.
Yeah.
I can't think of what it was called, but that was kind of fun.
Yeah, I put so much money into that at the White Bear movie theater.
There were little jumps that you'd hit. There were mud pits you could fall into.
Yeah, you had to avoid the mud pits and
Hell
stuff
yeah.
like that.
I don't know.
Off-road.
Road?
Yeah. That game was tight.
Yeah, I like that.
Then after each race, you could win some money. Then you'd upgrade, your shocks or your turbo boost and
then,
stuff.
like,
Absolutely.
You could make a quarter last a long time
could.
in that game. Yeah, that was fun.
You got some bang for your buck on that one.
Yeah, it was
Upgrade
like an
your
RPG game back
You
in the
could
day.
upgrade your vehicle after if you had some success.
What about Gauntlet? Talk about having fun with friends. You guys
Never
like Gauntlet?
saw it.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
I don't recall Gauntlet.
Warrior need food. What about Dragon's Lair? Anybody play that one?
Never saw it.
No.
I had a feeling some of these nerdier games you guys wouldn't have been into. I like Dragon's Lair quite a bit.
A little bit more like a newer game, Hydro Thunder. Oh, that was
that game's lame.
I loved it. It was a boat racing game, and then you would hit the turbo, and they had fans, and the fans would blow on you.
Waffle, will you
feel
please
like you're
respect
blasting around.
retro video game day and stop talking about Hydro Thunder?
All right.
I don't know Hydro Thunder. Waffle, if I did, I'd be behind you 100%.
Yeah,
I
it's
would,
a
but I don't
blast.
know it.
Ask me about CrossFit Jesus brings up pole position. That's another game
That's
I
cool.
absolutely loved.
The sit-down version especially.
Oh, man, that was fun. Excite Bike.
Excite Bike's
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
That's a good one.
All of this conversation brings me back to how much time we used to spend at arcades and pool halls when we were kids. 16, 15-year-old kids. I mean, we certainly hit the arcade when we were a little younger than that. But by the time we were 15, 16, we had the freedom and had at least a few bucks in our pocket where we could hang out there for, on a Friday and Saturday night. It was bizarre to me, now that I think about it, that we'd hang around these arcade pool halls and play pocket billiards against guys in their 40s. It was totally normal to me in the moment, but now I'm thinking, these 40-year-old guys couldn't find anyone better to play pocket billiards against than a bunch of ninth graders?
I've had those moments, too, where you kind of remember back and think, geez, I'm the same age as someone who was playing against me when I was 14. And you're right, at 14, it just didn't seem weird at all.
And these guys used to be dicks and talk trash to us and whatnot. It's like, well, again, in the moment, I took it personally, and we would, get all fired up about it. But now I'm thinking, what 43-year-old in their right mind is taunting a ninth grader over a game of pool?
Some other great retro video games coming in on Retro Great Video Game Day from the Brother and Sisterhood. Spy Hunter, dude,
Great
loved
game.
that game. Rampage. Just
Oh,
played
yeah.
that at, is it Can Wonderland?
Yeah, it is.
Is it Can or Cam?
Can.
Yeah, Can Wonderland. Played that not too long ago.
Fun, get 3 players going, just smashing down buildings.
Frogger, Miss Pac-Man.
See, and then like I had Cruisin' USA.
Like that one too.
Yeah.
Was that
was a
where
blast.
there were babes in bikinis?
Yep.
That's the only
How I
time.
always crash. I'd be looking at the babes.
What do you mean? When you crashed, the babes would run to your aid?
They would distract me. So then, like,
Oh,
I'd
you
go
would-
around the corner and there's a babe, and
The babes would cause you to crash. Okay.
Wapple gets so turned on by video game babes, he crashes into his car.
back in the day, they were hot.
Cubert, Paperboy. I loved Afterburner. 1941. You guys ever played that?
Yeah,
That was
absolutely.
awesome.
The overhead the fighter pilot game, yeah.
When you say Cubert, it's funny how the brain works, right? When you said Cubert out loud, Josh, immediately my brain caused me to remember the smell at Old Piper Inn in Wayzata, Minnesota, which is no longer a thing anymore, the Old Piper Inn Pizza House, because they had a stand-up Cubert game there. And all you had to, and we spent so much time playing that, all you had to do was say it out loud, and I could smell the pizza from 47 years ago.
Yeah.
They got great pizza.
Isn't that friggin' bizarre?
It's funny how the brain works like that,
Yeah,
though.
they say scents. That's one of the ones that bring back memory the most, right?
Yeah, you associate with something.
Yeah, anytime I smell Chanticleer pizza, I think that I'm going to rent a video game or a movie because they had it right next door to the video store.
How about anytime you smell meth production, what city do you think of? Wow. What city?
Cambridge.
Cambridge, okay. Florida Transplant Jesus brings up Double Dragon. That's also a fun game.
I was playing some Double
never
Dragon
heard of
just
that.
the other day. Double Dragon 2.
Did I mention Contra yet? I loved Contra.
I was
Contra.
more of a karate champ guy.
That's a great one.
If we're gonna fist fight and such, that was more my my era.
I like the Simpsons one. That was
That's
always
my
fun.
I
favorite.
never played that. I've
By
heard good
far.
things.
The 4-player beat 'em up games in the 90s, The Simpsons, Turtles, and then the
Turtles.
6-player X-Men game. Those were fun. You'd line up your buddies and you just drop in tokens.
Yep.
Those I love those beat 'em up games.
So she's Friday, like I mentioned. We got a dad fight scheduled for Brad Ryder and Randy Shaver a little bit later on, and I think I also said some other things will happen too. And I'm still sticking by that promise. Before we duck out of here, Ashley, do you want to tell folks what you're doing tonight? You're going to be in my hometown. Isn't this like a charity thing you're doing tonight? Is that still happening?
Yeah, yep, it is. I'm going to be participating in a charity event, and so I'll be playing basketball in a wheelchair. It's called the Stars Celebrity Wheelchair Basketball Showcase.
Will there be any celebrities or stars there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I want to get the mascot correct, but I believe Crunch is going to be there.
Well, that would make sense at a basketball event.
Yeah, Crunch is going to be there, and the Timberwolves DJ, Goldie Gopher, Victor the Viking. So I'm super excited for that.
Where and when again?
Watch out for them.
My old junior high, Cubby.
It's going to be at the Wayzata Central Middle School. I'm not exactly sure what time it opens up to the public.
I saw okay, you brought this up off air a couple weeks ago. And you probably don't know this because you're not a real American and you haven't been watching the Timberwolves this season, but they've been advertising and promoting this on Timberwolves games. And I believe I saw something about it starts at 6:30. But anyway.
It starts at 6:30.
This is really interesting to me. You're going to be playing wheelchair basketball.
I'm slightly terrified. I thought about it on the whole drive over here this morning, and I'm afraid I'm going to smash my fingers.
Well, you probably will smash
yeah.
I think any of us would smash our fingers because I think you have to buy a ticket to this.
Yep. It's $10 for adults, and
I think I'm going to swing by and get a load of this.
you have to.
Number one, I want to be there to support you, and I'm interested to watch this happen because legitimate wheelchair basketball players are insanely talented.
Yes.
Yeah, are you taking them on?
I haven't gotten too much information on who I'm going to be up against.
Maybe they'll
You
have
will be dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you're not going to have a prayer.
I'm already assuming that I'm going to be. I played basketball growing up in high school and all that, but I can't remember the last time I even tried to shoot a basket. So
They'll probably have, maybe they'll be nice to you and have a an amateur game or something. And
Yeah,
you
or
and the rest of the amateurs will just be knocking into each other and the score will be 0-0 at the end. But,
yeah, or maybe they'll put like a ringer on both teams. It'll just be like them versus each other the whole time. They'll just be in the background.
but this is, right down the road from this is my neighborhood. So I'm going to try to pop in if I have the time. Well, it means Friday night. I should have some time on my hands. That sounds really fun.
Have you ever seen a wheelchair basketball tournament? I've seen a couple of them.
30 years ago.
Yeah, it's incredible what those guys are able to do.
But I still catch a little bit of it now and again on, the internet and such. So I'm happy that you're getting involved in this. I hope to see you tonight. I'm a big Goldie Gopher fan.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to
get
who's
not? Right?
And I'll pay my money at the door to get in and see it. This is my old junior high.
I'm really excited.
When you're done playing, I'm going to walk you around the junior high. I'll tell you where everything happened back in the day.
Yeah, I want to see where your old locker is.
They're still talking about me at that junior high.
Duh.
They're still talking about me. Well, that's really cool. And maybe I put you on the spot there. Maybe gather up some more specifics in case we ask you about it later. So
yeah, I can do that.
Folks know this and that. Because you're going to be in real trouble out there.
I know I.
Any of us would be, though. Again, any of us would be.
Definitely not exclusive to you.
I do love those videos about all the sports mascots, and they're just trucking little kids when they're playing football.
Oh, that's some of the greatest stuff that's ever been put up on the internet. Find someone who doesn't like those videos.
Oh,
if there's
that
someone
would be so cool if I just got taken out by a mascot.
No,
I would
nobody
love
better
that.
hurt our Ashley. No, not at all.
Oh, if you end up getting T-boned into a wall tonight by a mascot, I will be the first person to stand up in the bleachers and cheer for more. I will be.
Get her again.
Part of the draw of this is violence for me personally. All right, you're a wonderful crowd. We thank you for joining us here on this Friday. We hope it's also your Friday. And by God, we got plenty to do, but not before we take a few minutes off and come back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Our customers are our top priority, whether that's providing same-day service or solving a cooling issue for that addition on your home. Ashley, tell our listeners about this month's AC specials.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
What companies deserve your hard-earned dollar? Which would you want to work for? How can you know if they share your values? Just ask us. Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks who really means business in supporting workers, customers, communities, the environment, and shareholders. We measure progress, track success, and help them be better. When you see the Just Capital seal, you know what's real, because just business is better business. Visit justcapital.com to learn who makes your dollar count.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
You got it. Absolutely. Half-Assed Morning Show. Stupid news is on the way. A few minutes ago, we were talking to Ashley. Ashley over there was involved in a charity event tonight. She's going to be playing wheelchair basketball. And I think I'm going to try to make it over to the joint tonight to see this happen. It's at my old junior high school, strangely enough. The same place I was voted class president, Josh, in 1986.
How long did you last as president? How many terms did you do?
I didn't even do a one term.
Not even. Did you do one day?
Yeah, I made it a couple, 3 weeks. But then they gassed me because my grades weren't up to snuff.
Is this the same school where I've seen a picture of you in the gymnasium in a gladiator outfit?
No, that was at high school. That was high school when I was the Trojan mascot.
Okay.
Another gig that I lost.
I get them confused.
Class president, they canned me because of my grades. Trojan mascot, they canned me because of a dirty joke I told at a pep rally. But anyway, you're going to be at my old... Josh, this is the same building that I walked through the morning after I scored 5 goals in one hockey game against Minnetonka.
Wow. Did they maybe isolate your footsteps just so you can follow in the footsteps of a hero?
It was one of those situations. You've heard big-time athletes say this before out loud when they accomplish great things. They say, it hasn't quite dawned on me yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's something like they always say, it hasn't quite hit me yet what I've accomplished. I think I had that feeling the next morning, so I'm not sure what happened. But that's
so it's not like we can go there and we see your footprints encased in concrete or perhaps maybe just, little stickers where you walk.
That would be great if somebody would have been paying attention. But so Ashley playing wheelchair basketball the night at my old junior high. Has anyone seen this in person? I got a text message when we were talking about this wheelchair basketball charity game tonight. Someone texted in and said in Mazeppa recently they played a game of donkey basketball.
Oh, wow.
That sounds incredible.
Where the hell do you play donkey basketball? They're not letting the donkeys into the gym.
I'm looking this up.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good for the floor, I imagine.
Unless you put tennis shoes on the donkeys.
Oh my gosh, little basketball shoes.
They are in a gym.
Yep.
And are the donkeys wearing tennis shoes?
It looks like they're wearing like slippers.
Well, there you go.
They should spell it DONKE and then have the Nike swoosh underneath it with maybe little donkey ears somehow.
Yes.
Okay, they look really cute in those little slippers.
Oh, I need to see this. Send me that, Wapple.
I could easily Google this by myself, but do you mind sending me the link?
Yeah, no problem.
So much easier.
I love it in the title, Donkey Basketball, ? Yes!
I got to watch this. Maybe later I'll have an opportunity to watch donkey basketball, but that sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. Thank you for the text message on donkey basketball. I don't know if any of us were aware of this. One more note before we get to the stupid news. We were also talking, we were talking currency earlier. Oh, what am I doing now?
Here's donkey basketball.
Josh is showing me a video of donkey basketball at Liberty High School. Is that in Mazeppa?
Must be, if that's what he said. I don't know. Or maybe this is just a different school.
I think it's a different school.
Okay, fair enough. I see that the referee is wearing a cowboy hat, which you don't see very often at a basketball game. We have live human beings on the backs of donkeys. Someone just said, ready, go. The donkeys are charging towards the basketball, which has been placed on the floor. And now they're passing it around while on the backs of donkeys and taking jump shots. I see. I thought the donkeys maybe were the ones who shot the ball around at the hoops, but it's the live human beings on the back.
This is very slow moving.
Yeah, it looks like their shoes are actually made out of old boots.
I can live with it, Wapple.
Yeah, they're rubber.
I can live with it. I'm not really concerned about their feet anymore. I just want to watch donkey basketball.
Well, this has made my day.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Although I have to say I'm a little disappointed. I really was picturing that the donkeys are picking up the basketball with their mouths or something and dunking it into, the hoop.
One of the kids almost got bucked off.
I just saw that.
You saw that part too?
Yeah, he tried to hop back on. And
it would be cool to see if a donkey had a jump shot or something like that.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Watch him
They're
hit a
talented.
three.
Fine, the human beings are playing, but I'd rather see the... something else we were chatting about, currency, dollar bills and such. We got on a bizarre conversation about serial numbers, are they tracked, this and that, and we came to the conclusion that none of us have any idea what we're talking about on that subject. But I mentioned, I always got a kick out of it when I was a kid. You'd get your hands on a bill, and you notice that some lunatic wrote a dirty message on it or just wrote, some bizarre information on it. That was always interesting. A listener says, if you look at the back of a dollar bill, of course, on the back, the United States of America, in God we trust, and then in big, bold letters, 1, right? Just for the really stupid people to indicate this is a $1 bill. Our listener says he used to get a kick out of it when he'd find a dollar where someone had put a B on one end and an R on the other.
Yeah, that's always fun.
That's a classic.
He said, I thought it was funny because boner.
That is funny.
It is funny. Remember
Federal offense, but funny.
The first time I saw that, I was like, my mind was blown at the comedic genius of whoever did that.
Yeah.
You should see what a friend of mine did with a sledgehammer at the Titus building in Edina. Made one small change. It was pretty good.
Oh, the Titus building. Sure. All right, here we go with Friday's stinking stupid news. Here's a cold-blooded move right here, by God. And it's going to very quickly remind folks of that really dumb movie from back in the day called Weekend at Bernie's. 2 women in Ohio propped up a dead man's corpse in their motor vehicle, is how you say it. They propped the dead guy up in their motor vehicle and then withdrew money from his bank account.
Jesus.
And after that, they dropped the 80-year-old guy's dead carcass off at a hospital. The 2 gals go by the names of Laureen Ferrallo and Karen Kasbaum. The first one there is 55 years old. The other is 63. They've been charged with theft and gross abuse of a corpse.
It is gross.
It's a pretty sick thing these 2 gals came up with.
It's extra evil.
It is.
I mean, I understand you're down on your luck, you need some cash, but my goodness. Sell your body like Dana's mom.
Right, exactly. It's not that difficult.
The local cops there in Ohio say that the dead carcass belongs to a fella named Douglas Lehman. The 2 women were not related to Lehman, but they lived with him at his house. So this might have been some type of hot 3-way sexual relationship that they were all having. I don't know. What I do know is at one point or another, old Douglas Lehman dropped dead at his house. Cops say that Ferrallo and Kasbaum, with the help of a 3rd individual, hoisted Lehman's dead body into the front passenger seat of his car, and then they headed off to a nearby bank's drive-through window. The bank had previously allowed the women to withdraw money from Lehman's account as long as he was with them in the car. And just a few days ago, after the dude checked out, they all stopped into the bank together and took $900 out of old dead Douglas's account. The bank teller couldn't tell that Lehman was deader than disco there in the front seat.
I mean, yeah, you're never going to think somebody would be that callous, right?
No.
You're saying, oh yeah, there he is.
Hell no. Why would you ever assume that the person was dead? The teller said that the women placed Lehman's carcass, quote, in the vehicle in such a manner that would be visible to bank staff in order to make the withdrawal. It looked legit, is pretty much what the teller is saying.
They lift his hand up and wave it to him. Hello, Mr. Bank Teller. It's me. I would like some money.
Then they drove him to the local hospital. They dropped him off and got the hell out of there without saying a word to anybody. That's real nice, right?
Wow.
Just dumped his carcass out onto the sidewalk. Police quickly caught up with these 2 garbage piles. And they're real cutie pies. They are. Their track record, what's the term in the business, Josh? Their
criminal record?
Criminal record, rap sheet, thank you. Has a little bit of everything in there. Assault, drugs, criminal trespass, DWI, theft. So they're...
Wonderful.
Yeah, they're both, like I said, real cutie pies. Disrespectful is the word that comes to mind, Cubby.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, how would I dress a dead body to try and pass it off as someone alive?
Well, it's not that hard, really. I think these days it's so common now for someone to go around town with their hoodie up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sunglasses.
Sunglasses and a hoodie.
But I'd probably overthink it. Like, well, okay, I'm going to get him a Chiefs hoodie, current events, recent Super Bowl champ, something like that. So they think, oh, look at that. That's just a Chiefs fan. And there must have bought that when he was very much alive during the Super Bowl.
You end up spending like $200 to dress the dead person.
Right, and I get $200 from the bank.
You somehow prop up, he's holding the day's newspaper. It's got the date on it.
Oh, man.
He's got a McFlurry in his hand.
I think you'd be pretty good, Josh, at dressing the dead.
Well, I'd want to be respectful.
Yeah.
When I stole the body to go steal his money.
Frighteningly enough, there are plenty of people out there who at this very moment are probably putting a new outfit on their dead mother. know what I mean?
You know, we do hear too many stories like that.
Down in the basement, brushing her hair. Pretty.
There's got to be at least one, right?
Pretty.
Can I just say, if you guys did this to me, first you'd be disappointed by the balance of my checking or savings, whatever. But I would see the humor in it.
Good to know.
Yeah. As long as you don't take a peek
down with it.
Yeah, as long as you don't take a peek at my wang, I'd be okay with it.
We know you're sensitive about your little pecker.
Yeah, I don't want anybody looking at
We
that.
won't, but I think I'm taking you through the drive-through, Josh, and you ain't even going to be wearing a shirt.
I also don't like that. All right, you guys can't do it anymore.
Shirtless, sunglasses on, a beer in your hand, all the things that you feel so confident doing.
Lit cigarette in your mouth, you're not wearing a shirt, and I'm making you give that teller a permanent finger as we go through the drive-through.
Wow, he's really turned into a bad boy.
One of my favorite little moments at the drive-through, I think this was me and Big Al. Me and Big Al going through the bank drive-through together, and we had Al's little Cocker Spaniel with us, Ginger Marie. She was such a wonderful gal. Ginger Marie and Megan Marie, the best girl in the whole world, were roommates for a while. You should have seen this. It was the most adorable 6-8 months in the history of life when Megan Marie and Ginger Marie were living together. They'd wrestle back and forth. It was
Cute.
great. So anyway, we took Ginger Marie with us to the bank drive-through. And as we're sitting there waiting for our money, the teller says, "Would you like a sucker for your child?" And Big Al kind of looked at me. Is this a joke? And Al said, or I said, I can't remember which one it was. One of us said, "Our child." And the bank teller looked a little closer and said, "Oh, sorry, that's a dog."
What the heck?
To this day, we don't know how the hell she...
What?
Was it a private bit?
What does she got going on?
No, the gal was terribly embarrassed. She was laughing. "I'm sorry, I don't know what." So then she sent a dog biscuit through the chute there.
Oh, nice.
For whatever reason, she thought that this four-legged dog who was, had propped itself up and had its head out the window, she thought it was a human being. A miniature human being baby type of a thing. I don't know what happened over there. Long week for her. Long week.
Just absent-minded.
A sucker.
You know, the way we described the gentleman who, how he would dress a corpse. Letter shredder Jesus said, "I'm headed to work now, and I feel like a poorly dressed dead body." We described what he's wearing.
I feel that.
This next little deal here is interesting. I got some theories as to what really happened here, and I'll get to those once I dump the info on you. This past Sunday night, a gal out there in Arizona, she fell into a well. All the damn way down to the bottom of a well. And she decided to stay there overnight instead of calling for help. It was a 15-foot drop down to the bottom of this dry well. The well is surrounded by a chain-link fence out in an open field in a town called Chandler, Arizona.
What is she doing?
How did she? Why?
Just take it easy.
She wants to be a part of the well now.
I'm definitely going past that fence.
Yeah, what a weirdo.
She managed to find a way to fall smooth down to the bottom, but then didn't do jack squat to help herself out by making a call with her cellular telephone. She stayed down there. There was a ladder in the well, but the gal was pretty dinged up from the fall, so she wasn't in shape to do any climbing. There was another person there with her, and apparently that person stayed with her, up top. The gal's down at the bottom of the well. That person stayed with her after she fell down. I guess we have to assume that the other person had no way to call for help or go down the well
And there was
to help the gal out. Pardon me?
There was no dog around to tell all the village people.
That's what you need. You're right.
The village people. I know what you meant, but... The Chandler Fire Department chief, a dude called Carlos, he told the local television station, he said, "We're not sure why, but she decided to stay in the hole and call us in the morning. She really didn't give us many details on how the incident happened."
Oh, I would demand more. Lady, just tell me.
In the morning.
Where I live now.
Yeah, right, that's what I pictured too. Well, this is my life.
In the morning, it took about an hour and a half for rescue crews to haul crews is how you say it. It took them about an hour and a half to haul her ass up out of the well. So, and she was taken to the hospital. So my theory is this, because you're all like, what? Why did she? What's happening? This is my theory. And it's probably nothing that some of the rest of you haven't already thought of. Alcohol was definitely involved.
Oh, it had to have been. Yep. Or drugs.
There's alcohol or drugs. I always forget about drugs because I don't use them. I'm a drinker. Alcohol or drugs definitely involved. That's why 2 people are walking around the middle of a field in Chandler, Arizona. That's why you would hop that fence that was surrounding the well. And I'm going to go ahead. This is where I go now. That might be a little outside the box. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say that the other person was her boyfriend. They were having an argument when she fell ass over apple cart down the well. And just to make her boyfriend feel guilty and in the wrong for arguing with her, she stayed down there just to make her boyfriend feel like it was all his fault. It was a mind F from the get-go. Always remember this. Never forget this. Chicks are shady. They do stuff.
Could it have been a standoff where they were in an argument and she said, I'm not getting out of here until you get out of here?
There you go.
I'm staying in. I don't want to see your face. And he said, oh, yeah, 2 can play that game. You're the one in the well. I'm out here in safety.
One way or the other. The reason she sat down there all night and didn't make a phone call, one way or the other, it was alcohol and relationship based.
I'm guessing she had drugs on her, so that's why she didn't want to call the cops.
Oh. Well, why would the cops search you for drugs when they rescue you from a well?
You just hide them in the well.
I don't know. If you're high, you're probably a little nervous about that. I don't know. They're going to notice that I'm high, strung out on meth or something.
I suppose there's that.
You might be wondering, how does a lady fall into a well? And the brother and sisterhood, they know everything. And said she probably fell into the well because she couldn't see that well.
Has to hop a fence to get in.
There was the woman, was it in California, where a couple times they had to pull her out of the sewer. She just decided this is where I want to be.
I forgot about that lady.
She just was drawn. She was drawn to the underworld. Life in the sewer system. That's what she was drawn to. And the cops had to keep pulling her out of there.
Stop it.
All right, I doubt many of us could even go ahead and make up a story like this. It's original. That's for damn sure. I don't know if I'm buying it, though. I just don't know. But I can tell you this. If you want to watch people vomit and spit up blood, we got a video for you. Like I said, I don't know if I'm buying it. This comes off like a scam. Here's the deal.
I forget. I'm sorry. Just real quick. Ashley, did I send this to you?
Nope.
Maybe I thought it was too gross.
It is kind of gross. It's not maybe as bad as you.
All the drooling and blood. I don't know.
A group of people in India went to dinner and ended up in the hospital. They were bleeding out their mouths, or that's what they wanted you to lead you to believe, and throwing up sideways after being served dry ice.
Ooh. Yeah, you are not supposed to consume that.
Yeah, you're not even supposed to touch it.
They were told the dry ice was some type of mouth freshener palate cleanser. So 5 people hanging out at a joint called La Forsetta or something cafe. Doesn't matter. 5 people hanging out at a cafe in India. They had a hell of a time. Or they attempted a major money grab type of a scam. The story says that a waiter came by their table and handed them some type of palate cleanser, breath freshener type of a deal. I believe this was after they had all eaten dinner. They were told that the palate cleanser was made up of sugar and ice. But as it turns out, or the story says, it was dry ice, which effed everybody up, and right now. After they put the dry ice in their yappers, they apparently started bleeding and spraying puke right out in the open there at the restaurant. There was someone with the group that recorded this on their cell phone.
That's the first thing I do when my friends and family are suffering.
Well, that's actually, unfortunately, not too uncommon nowadays. Mm-hmm. How many times has the cop said, hey, there's a person drowning in the river. Not one person went out there or decided to call the cops. They're all filming. You've seen exasperated rescuers wondering what the hell's going on.
Right. Josh is referencing, direct reference to a story we had a few months ago, which was really fascinating, wasn't it, Josh? I mean, everything you explained is true. Somebody, was this England?
In England, yeah.
Somebody fell into a big stinking canal that led to the ocean or a river. Well, it doesn't matter. Someone fell into the water, and not one swinging D did a damn thing. Everybody pulled out their cell phone. And in this situation, and I know I'm arguing against myself here because I think this is a scam, but just also, it would probably make sense to have someone record this for legal purposes, right? If you're all choking and dying at a restaurant.
That's true.
You see where I'm going with that?
Yes, I'd be wanting to get paid.
So all these folks are spitting and sputtering from this supposed dry ice attack. But here's where I get suspicious. I mean, it appears to me that they continue to put the dry ice in and out of their mouths.
Yeah.
And then
they're dabbing something in there. I don't know if it's the same. Yeah.
And they all kind of make too much of an effort to present it to to present themselves to the camera as it looks. See, do you see what's happening? You know what I mean? It doesn't come off terribly natural, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
A couple of them did look terrified to me. So maybe it was like, hey, we're going to do this stunt, whatever, and all of a sudden realized immediately it was a terrible idea. I don't know. A couple of the faces they made, they look like, well, I have no idea what's happening to my mouth right now.
Especially the dude in the blue hat.
That deserves a text, by the way, if you're interested.
The story says they were all rushed to the hospital. They spent 2 days recovering. The restaurant manager was arrested. Cops are still looking for the owner of the restaurant, who was said to be on the run. Police are calling this an outright poisoning.
Yeah, I think if the owner's on the run, it might give a little credit to possibly a real deal.
Says here, dry ice ingestion has the potential to be fatal. Fair enough. I've never heard of anything like that before, but fortunately, it says here these folks are in stable condition. The manager says it was an accident.
Well, yeah, I bet if you eat dry ice, it probably freezes your insides.
I had a buddy touch it once, and he was miserable.
That's very painful.
Had to go to the doctor.
I've never had any encounters, nor have I ever heard story one about the dangers of dry ice.
Oh, really?
Wow, really?
Did you? So we, in my high school band, one of the guys, the older guy, he put together pyrotechnics, and we had a dry ice with a fan. When we came out, it was like a whole deal. Kind of embarrassing, actually, for the level of talent we had compared to the production value, right?
You talking about a rock band?
Yeah, in high school. And he was a few years older than us. He was the bass player's older brother. And so he made all this stuff for us, flash pots and stuff like that. It was cool.
We had one show where we had fog machines. My high school rock and roll band.
Cool.
It was really cool, except for the fact that we had no idea what level to put the damn thing on. So when we took the stage, you couldn't see what the hell was going on for about 5.5 songs before you could. It would just brrr. It was
coughing and wheezing through the fog.
No, I don't know why, but I've never heard story one at all about dry ice. I couldn't have told you the first thing about it until I read this story.
Yeah, I knew that from my buddy's brother, and then one of the stage productions at school, a play, they used dry ice for one of them. I can't remember.
I can tell you this much. At my old warehouse job when I was in high school, we used to work with liquid mercury. And all we were ever told, day after days, be careful with that stuff. There were a lot of chemicals and dry materials at this warehouse where you had to wear a breathing apparatus and rubber gloves to make sure you didn't get yourself sick or kill yourself. We had these buckets of mercury sitting around, and I was always ammonia. We would work with ammonia. I almost killed myself with ammonia a handful of times. But anyway, I was always real careful with that mercury. That was the number one thing the bosses would warn us about. And one day, we had a lot of temps at this warehouse. Temps. In those days, a lot of them were absolute derelicts looking for drug money. That's pretty much all they were. There were plenty of temps that were there for one day to get $32, and we'd never see them again because that was what they needed for their fix.
Yep.
We went through temps like a son of a bitch, and a lot of them were just goofy. So one dude was a temp We're at lunchtime, lunch break. We're all walking to the lunchroom. Right past that big barrel of mercury, dude takes the lid off the mercury, takes his index finger, sticks it in there, sticks it in his mouth, and goes.
Oh my God!
We all froze in our friggin'. I expected him to drop dead on the spot.
Yeah.
All I know is he was rushed out of there in an ambulance. Never saw him again.
Was it like somebody said, hey, I'll give you a certain amount of money to do this? He just did it.
If there was a conversation like that, I didn't hear it beforehand.
What a weird thing to do.
He took a big finger full of mercury in his yap, and that's the last I ever saw of the guy. Alls I know, like Wapple would say, was that he was up and gone, and that was the end.
So to go back to something I said about my high school band, beer, brewing, and drinking, Jesus said, so your band had little talent on your instruments, but a huge production of a show? Were you a Kiss cover band?
Were you guys called Poison? I never like to hear about someone disrespecting Burger King. Or someone doing something that gets in the way of Burger King doing what they do best, which is serving folks delicious foods. Although, don't ask me to advertise any of their products. I am a healthy eating individual, and I will. That's an inside joke.
I am. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a heroin appointment in 2 seconds. Which is essentially that person in a nutshell.
Gross.
I care about my health and well-being.
I won't be advertising any fast food, but as soon as I get out of here, I'm going to chug a bottle of vodka.
I love those kind of people.
Burger King. In Colombia, some effing stupid bastard went up onto the roof of a neighborhood Burger King, and then he got ass naked, and he dipped his naked ass and dong and balls and the whole works into a water tank up on the roof. There's video of the guy. It looks like he's taking a quick bath. It also looks like he might be cutting a turd in there. I don't know.
The way he's sitting kind of looks that way, yeah.
Folks in the neighborhood went into a panic because they assumed he was dipping his dirty ass into a tank of water that Burger King uses for preparing their drinks or food or whatever. But Burger King said, no, it's just a reserve tank of some sort up there on the roof. We don't even know what the hell it does. They said, don't worry about the food. But, they went on to basically say, we're still not exactly excited that a random naked dude is washing his nuts up in there. They didn't take any chances. They temporarily closed the joint. They're bringing in some special company to sanitize everything.
That sucks. They have to do all that.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks a lot, douchebag.
People are missing out on a day's work now.
They also sealed off roof access to make sure no one else could get up there and wash their dirty gear in their water tanks. Burger King said so far the identity is how you say it, of the rooftop diver remains unsolved, and they're hoping the cops will chase him down and give him a beating.
You know what I love at Burger King? That chicken sandwich, the long one.
Yes.
That long chicken sandwich.
The best.
Oh,
so good.
And
that is awesome.
Their ices. I don't know if you guys ever had their ices, but they are the best ices.
No, I haven't.
Sometimes, Josh, I would dream about that old school long chicken sandwich that you're describing. That was one of my favorite meals when I was a young person.
Understandable.
There's so many great chicken sandwiches out there, but for whatever reason, that one stands out to me.
One time, my brother and I went, and each of us got one of the long chicken sandwiches at Burger King. We went back to the house, and I put it down in front of me. My brother slapped it right off the table.
Why?
What?
Yeah.
That means war.
We had a horrible fist fight. He was just being a dick. I've been thinking about that damn chicken sandwich all week long. He slapped it down onto the floor.
That's so messed up, bro.
That's how brothers do each other.
Oh,
He saw me just hovering over that damn thing, just anticipating the first bite, and he just went plap, swatted it down onto the floor. Megan Marie, the best girl in the whole world, she started licking at it.
Oh, good for her. There would be no hesitation with the punch to the face for me. It would be reflex.
Oh, I went straight karate mode. I think I got up on the table and launched myself like a spinning kick.
You know what you could do? Maybe show up just at his work today. Hey, would you like some Burger King?
Oh!
How about a long chicken sandwich? Here you go, buddy.
He would not see that approach.
That'll be awesome. As he goes to Greg, because how appreciative would a guy be? You just brought me Burger King at work.
Yeah.
And the long chicken sandwich, and then you smack it right. And you know the thing about your brother's job, he has to clean it up.
Right.
That'd be so great.
Oh, that's
great
terrible
idea.
because I love your brother to death and I don't want anything like that to happen.
And you know what? Then I'm going to stab him.
This took a turn I wasn't anticipating.
No, it's about time. You got the ball rolling now, Josh. I might as well stab him.
Oh, he's got to clean that up too.
He does. Right under his rib cage. And then I'm going to pour gasoline all over him.
It's got dark.
Well, Josh brought it up.
Well, I didn't go that far.
You said things I can do to my brother today.
Okay, now I don't remember if I started saying that.
What do I got time for? Oh, God, look at the time. Should I get to this one, Josh?
Yeah, the next. Well, do the bottom one.
It's
the last
the bottom one.
Just because that's going to be gone.
Gonna do the bottom one.
And I got a clip.
Oh, you got a clip? I'm going to empty a clip into my brother because of that chicken sandwich prank he pulled on me in 1981. Well, I'm going to watch him bleed out. A museum in St. Louis is celebrating a holiday. A special holiday, Cubby.
Those are always fun, right?
Oh, they are. They're asking visitors to the museum to wear underwears on their heads. Because they're trying to,
you got a panty on your head.
They're trying to break a Guinness, how do you call it, world record. The City Museum in St. Louis. They hope to gather at least 314 people on 3/14, March 14th, so that's next week. And they're also in the 314 area code. That's how it's all connected, Josh?
Yeah, a little everything there.
They're in the 314 area code. We're coming up on March 14th. So they want to gather 314 people. Everyone's got underpants on their skulls, and then they'll get into the Guinness Book of World Records. Okay?
When do they come up with the underwear on your head?
Yeah. Is there anything in here that explains?
I didn't see anything that said why that.
Well, I guess it maybe because it's just an easy record to break.
Yeah.
The old record was 271 people put drawers on their heads in Illinois or something. A handful of that. So it's an easy record to break. They can get all the attention that they want. They can, how do you call it? Celebrate this 314. They already have. Oh, you don't have to bring your own underwears. They'll supply it for you if you show up. They'll hand you a pair of drawers.
Used, I hope.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, duh.
They already, in this museum now, they already have the world's largest pair of underwear. Now would be the time to text in your jokes about your wife or your husband.
You should see the jokes that came in when I said, what's going on with my mouth? There's quite a few in there, and they are demeaning.
They were. I felt bad for you.
The world's largest pair of underwears. The waistband measures 16 feet.
Whoa. They're pretty funny, actually.
The people at the St. Louis Museum?
Those giant underwear. I don't know. I thought that was pretty funny.
The giant underwears are funny.
I like how they have a curtain and everything for it, too.
A curtain for, what do you mean?
The world's largest underwear.
They draw back a curtain, then they say, ta-da! Like that's what you mean by that? That's very exciting.
It's just like, check out these underwear.
Don't suppose any... Well, no. Dumb question. I was going to ask if any of you guys have read the Captain Underpants books.
Oh,
Captain. Of course.
Oh, you really have? Okay.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, we fought to get rent those books in the library at school.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Never watched the TV show.
There were fights to rent the book? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd put your name on like a wait list because it was always checked out.
Did you ever think about stabbing them?
Yes, I did.
Captain Underpants. Never heard of them, Josh.
Well, yeah, you don't have kids or, you're not of that age, but those books were pretty funny.
Have you seen the TV show, Josh?
Is that a TV? I've seen a movie, I thought.
Yeah, there's a little TV show. I think it's on Disney Plus, and it is actually it'd probably not be good for you. It is just like flashing lights continuously.
Oh,
it is so obnoxious. It makes you dizzy.
Wait, what gave him a seizure? Captain Underpants.
We'll get back to you here in a few minutes. We'll be right back.
The moon ain't real. Yes,
real?
The moon isn't real. And I don't have time to explain all of that because I don't need people coming looking at me crazy. I don't even want to talk about it, though.
Explanation?
The Earth and the moon. Gravitational pull. The moon is way too close, bro. Sometimes go outside, look up at night. I swear. Y'all think I'm joking. Look up at night and you will not see the moon sometimes.
Well, yeah.
Bro, you got to see the sun or the moon.
School is important.
Here's the deal.
Not when you're an athlete.
I love former Twin Nick Gordon. I loved it when he played ball here. I love watching him play, but just mark him down as the latest pro athlete who's looking for a little extra attention because he's playing for the Miami Marlins now, and someone put a mic in his face and he claims the moon isn't real. I don't believe a thing that he's saying. He's just...
This is a joke between he and his buddies.
Oh, right? Is that right?
No, I'm just speculating. There's no way he doesn't believe the moon is real.
Right.
Sometimes you can't see it. Is it cloudy?
Now we got to listen to Bark at the Moon in its entirety.
I'm fine by that.
Should I read the sports and then maybe we'll listen to the closing solo, or how do you want to play this out,
Yeah,
Josh?
do that. We could skip to the closing solo.
I always love to listen to these old songs, and especially I don't want to step on whatever expectations you might have.
I think that this, guitar-wise, certainly is the perfect song.
All right.
I think everything Jakey Lee chose to do on this song is absolutely perfect and should not be changed in any way.
And I can't argue with anything that you're saying. I agree with everything.
Just like how God made you. Don't change a friggin' thing, Lord.
Did you dickhead see how that Wolves game ended last night or not?
insane.
Be honest with me.
Yes.
None of you know. You didn't see it,
I didn't
did you?
see it live.
Never live.
Jerks.
Not live.
I read about every game in the morning, though, and watch all the pertinent videos.
At least for one night, they were clutch. Anthony Edwards goes so high up in the air to block a game-winning shot, a potential game-winning shot by the Indiana Pacers. A1 from day one, so high up in the air, he hits his head on the rim, knocks the ball out of there. Game over.
Looked like he jumped off one of those mascot trampolines.
It was up there. Now, hang on to this note. Now, hang on to it. Pigs won. Golden Gopher ladies, they're all done in the Big Ten tournament. Golden Gopher dudes play at Northwestern. Golden Gopher ladies hockey, WCHA playoff series against Wisconsin. Golden Gopher dudes hockey. I hate this time of year.
It is overwhelming.
They're at home against Penn State, the state high school hockey tournament. We'll tell you all about the state high school hockey tournament when Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder get here. And we also have a Dad Fights trivia contest scheduled to go. So that is it for all the jock sniffing. But before we go, we will celebrate again the magic of Jakey Lee and Ozzy Osbourne together with the close of the song Bark at the Moon.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Our customers are our top priority, whether that's providing same-day service or solving a cooling issue for that addition on your home. Ashley, tell our listeners about this month's AC specials.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
Are you ready for hard-hitting observations?
Reality remains reality, no matter how hard you try to ignore it.
The Ben Shapiro Show brings you all the news you need to know in America today.
Again, I'm all here for the pop culture, people dating each other for the press.
Ben breaks down the culture and never gives an inch.
Every so often, and by every so often I mean literally every 27 seconds, so the producer gets fired.
The Ben Shapiro Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
I've got 32 years in law enforcement, and I do have to say this is probably in the top 5 of the most bizarre things that I've ever seen.
An intoxicated man spent the night in jail after pulling a gun on his coworker. But making matters more complicated for the drunk dude, his coworker is a cop.
Oh, nuts.
And until this incident, he was too.
Oh.
An on-duty Miami-Dade police officer found himself on the other side of the jail bars after crashing into a patrol vehicle Tuesday. 43-year-old Victor Montalvo was driving an unmarked SUV when he rear-ended a marked police car with its light on. The officer, whose vehicle was struck, exited his patrol car to check a nearby work crew. Apparently, the other cop unsteadily got out of his SUV and drew his service weapon, taking what appeared to be a low-ready, prone, tactical-type position of what appeared to be a dazed or confused look on his face, according to the report. He dropped the pistol after the other officer drew his gun. After he was detained, he told the officers, "I drank too much." The report stated he showed signs of intoxication like slurred speech and watery eyes and appeared to be confused about what happened and where he was. He also was relieved of duty after that arrest.
I wonder what that feels like to drink too much.
Want to try it one day, maybe?
I don't think you'll ever get there. Ashley, same question to you. Do you think you know what it
Do you think I'd like it, Josh?
I'll tell you what. I've been with you on 2 or 3 instances where you did drink too much.
What?
And you regretted all 3.
Oh!
Actually, I just thought of a 4th. You've regretted 4.
Wait a minute. One of them was drugs.
Oh, there was a mixture of legal drugs and alcohol, correct.
One of them was drugs.
But you probably drank too much for the drugs you were taking.
I like how I'm defending myself with drugs.
Yes.
It wasn't alcohol, it was drugs.
In a strange twist to what's become the all-too-common impersonating a police officer arrest, a Virginia man over the weekend was busted for the same crime, and he just so happens to be a police officer, at least until now. Arrested for impersonating a police officer, a 40-year-old Richmond police officer named Leary Wright.
Just when you think you've seen it all, you see something else weirder. And this one really does take the cake.
Wright was arrested following charges stemming from a mysterious online interaction last year. I say mysterious because little to no information is being released on how exactly an officer was arrested for impersonating an officer.
Yeah, that's different.
Some news outlets are reporting the suspect misrepresented his position and rank on a website. But police say the case is a developing story and have yet to reveal further information on this Virginia officer.
Well, F me.
Here's a random fact for you about Virginia. Lee County in Virginia is so far west, it's closer to 8 other state capital cities than it is to his own, Richmond. It's closer to the capitals in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Indiana.
Wow.
A man wearing a crown of thorns and carrying a piñata menaced an elderly Florida woman as she walked to work Tuesday morning around 10 a.m. And as alleged in the arrest report, Ruth Bullard, a 74-year-old realtor, called 911 to report a man approached her and began screaming a series of horrible profanities at the top of his lungs.
Oh, yeah?
Cops identified the suspect as a 37-year-old named Gregory, a notorious neighborhood nuisance who has an extensive criminal history, which includes battery, trespassing, harassment, disorderly conduct, and drug charges. After being read his rights, the suspect denied accosting the victim, telling deputies he was, quote, just singing and dancing to his very own Leprechaun song. At the time of his arrest, witnesses reported Gregory was in black clothing with a crown of thorns on his head, and he was carrying a Chucky doll and a piñata.
I'd like to hear his Leprechaun song.
We need to get a handle on this dude.
I know.
Somebody needs to get a handle on this dude.
Again in Florida, a woman is facing burglary and battery charges after she broke into her ex-boyfriend's home and threw Sprite at him and pickled pork juice on his couch. The Lee County Sheriff's Office responded last Friday after a resident said someone broke into his home. When officials arrived, they said the 22-year-old woman was holding a bottle of Sprite outside, which she then flung at her ex-boyfriend, hitting him.
What's going on? What? Hey, what's going on?
First of all, she broke in my house, sir.
Can you go over there by that tree? Hey, can you go by that tree so I can talk to him?
After pouring the pickled pork and heaving the spiked Sprite, she began shouting at the victim and continuously mentioned wanting to fight him.
You ever tried to get pickled pork juice out of your couch?
No.
Not for the faint of heart.
After a deputy tried to separate the pair, she was placed under arrest.
She's a wild one.
She is. Emergency sirens were tested statewide at 1 p.m. Wednesday as part of the monthly protocol. But the sirens that sounded in St. Louis County, Minnesota were different than the typical test sound and indicated an actual emergency.
The whistles got woo!
According to the St. Louis County Sheriff's Office, an operator mistakenly pressed the wrong button. Oh boy, I bet that is going to suck for that person for a while. They hit the warning button rather than the test button, resulting in the different sound.
Okay, guys, let's do a long tornado siren.
These sirens were primarily heard in Duluth and Proctor, which have emergency warning systems.
Just a wrong button.
Yep. I guess it was easy enough to hit the wrong one.
That sucks.
I feel bad for that person.
Yes.
You know they're not going to live it down for a while. Taken directly from the Notable new releases post on 93x.com, put together by our bewitching buddy Bill and one of our captivating coworkers. It's been 6 years since Judas Priest reached number 5 on the Billboard 200 with Firepower. This week, the Rock and Roll Hall of Famers return with their 19th studio album, Invincible Shield. That new album is available today. And while we're on the topic of Judas Priest, you can win tickets to their May 2nd show at the Armory during the 93X Burnout Weekend, starting at 5 p.m. today. Listen to win tickets to Iron Maiden, Motley Crue, Judas Priest, and more all weekend. Plus, if you win, we'll add a pair of tickets to the Donnie Smith Bike Show at St. Paul River Center later this month.
I've already got a couple of buddies busting my balls about getting tickets to that Judas Priest show. I told them, I said, you can win them on the radio station.
Yeah, after 5 today.
You got to listen and you win.
Give it a shot. That's the way to be fair. Jack Black returns as Po in Kung Fu Panda 4, now in theaters. In the 4th film in the franchise, Po takes on a new shape-shifting villain called the Chameleon, who can take the form of any other creature. Now on Netflix, Damsel, a survival thriller starring Millie Bobby Brown as a medieval damsel whose Prince Charming has an evil plan to sacrifice her to an ancient fire-breathing dragon. The streaming premiere of Wonka hits Max today, and Josh Brolin hosts Saturday Night Live with musical guest Ariana Grande, whose 7th album, Eternal Sunshine, came out today.
I absolutely love Kung Fu Panda.
So much.
Those movies are so much fun.
Never saw it.
I agree, Wapple.
Only saw the first one.
Yeah, they're very fun.
So they've all been good?
They're like feel-good movies.
Yep.
It's frustrating is what it is. Is that the one that Jack Black's going to be in? Mm-hmm. See, it's frustrating to me because he keeps cranking out this stupid Wong Fu Panda nonsense, but I'm still sitting here waiting for Nacho Libre Part 2.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Here's a reminder, this Sunday marks the beginning of Daylight Savings Time when most across the U.S. bring our clocks forward, moving up an hour, beginning 2 a.m. on Sunday. According to the U.S. Department of Transportation, Daylight Saving Time is observed from the 2nd Sunday in March to the 1st Sunday in November. Some other things recommended to do the same weekend is changing the clocks, as it's an easy way to stay on top of them. Changing the batteries in your smoke alarms, restocking your emergency kit. If you have an emergency kit, I should get an emergency kit.
Yeah.
Clean out
You don't have one.
I do not, yeah. Clean out your fridge, pantry, and medicine cabinet. Flip your mattress, and maybe man or ladyscape just in case. You don't
Do you
know
guys flip your mattress?
I never have.
No.
Neither have I.
That's a waste of time. And what about an emergency kit? What's happening?
You're supposed to restock your emergency kit if you have an emergency kit.
What do I put in there? Band-Aids?
Drugs and booze.
Flashlight.
Maybe a flare, an AK.
Can't forget the AK.
Okay. You guys all have emergency kits locked and loaded and ready to go?
I do not.
No.
Oh, good. Okay.
Maybe
I'm
a
sorry.
tourniquet? You can put a tourniquet in there?
I thought there was something happening there.
Cigarettes are a really good idea, Wapple, because that will be currency when stuff hits the fan.
Yeah, or windproof matches. Or
Windproof?
waterproof matches.
Sure. In case you're drowning and you want to have a cigarette.
Or you could just go to your neighbor's house and steal their emergency kit.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. So that's all you need is to make a copy of your neighbor's key.
Yeah.
That's your emergency kit.
Yep.
Wapple, sometimes you're a genius. Some call him the next George Clooney. Actor John Hamm turns 53 Sunday. Sharon Stone will be 66. The man has a diary we now call the Guinness Book of World Records. Chuck Norris, 84. Then tomorrow, actor and former Seahawk linebacker, the Boz, Brian Bosworth, will be 59.
Dude.
I love the Boz. And turning 79 today, drummer Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees.
Oh, wow. All right, man. He's...
Love the Monkees.
He's the last one left, is he not?
I believe he is, yeah.
God dang it, Mickey's the last one.
Congratulations to Wisco Engineering Jesus on his last day at the Goat Rodeo he calls work before moving back to the great state of Minnesota this weekend. And he tells us there will be a new Jesus name coming soon. Waylon for Life Jesus text in for the UW Stout girls basketball team who made it to the Sweet 16 and play again tonight. P.S. Kick some ass, Reagan, he said. Happy birthday to Arcs and Sparks, Jesus' baby girl, Josie May, turning the big 01 today with enough sass for all of us already, he said. Happy 25th Sunday to weed-smoking union worker Jesus. PD Midwest Jesus wants to wish his daughter Lydia a happy birthday, turning the big 01 tomorrow. Daddy loves you. And happy birthday tomorrow to Yes, My Child Jesus from Mom, bisexual folder operator Jesus. And that's 93X News.
I think Ant-Man should win MVP. Without Carl Antown for a month, if Minnesota can hold on to the number 1 spot.
Oh, he could be the MVP.
He could be the MVP.
Over Joker?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
Pacers have a chance. Up ahead, Neesmith. Blocked! Edwards getting up! And good night!
Hit my head, I think on the rim. It's hurting real bad. And I landed on my wrist, but I mean, I saw him with the lane. I knew he was going for the layup, and I was just like, man, I'm finna go get this. I ain't never jumped that high in my life.
There it is. It's a beautiful intro. Hello, Brad.
Good morning.
Did you hear the news about Randy Shaver?
No. Well, yesterday I did, yeah.
You're the guy now.
Where is he right now?
Well, he retired.
He's still
What do you
here.
mean You're the guy now.
Well,
Wait a minute.
I think, after that introduction, I think Wapple deserves a raise. Is he up for a raise?
Randy Shaver, what are you doing here? You announced your retirement yesterday.
Good Lord.
I didn't know Randy was going to be on.
Wapple's not smart enough to come up with a plan like this.
What? That was solely Wapple.
All Cubby's
I had
idea.
to take like a second take. I heard that something sponsored with Brad Wright. I went, what?
Come on now. That's so unbelievable.
Oh, it's very unbelievable.
I've
Trust me.
come up with some good ideas for this show. They just haven't been implemented yet.
Oh, that's not true. Yeah, we've said this from day one, from when you first came on. You always come prepared. You always have good ideas.
Yeah.
I don't know if Nick would admit that on the radio, but we've had that conversation off air many a time.
Brad Writer?
Yeah.
Always comes prepared?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That makes 3 of us. Here's the deal. Randy Shaver. What a day for you yesterday, huh?
Yeah, it was a little overwhelming.
Oh, I'd imagine.
I bet.
So many people reached out to us, being
Really?
a connection to you, and said so many nice things. A lot of people were saying, finally, now with Randy's retirement, I can listen to the show again. And I said, no, he's still going to be on 93X. He's just done.
They all went, oh.
He's just done with Channel 11.
He's
no,
retiring.
seriously, Dana was nice enough to put together a compilation of all the nice things people said. It was great. I'd imagine it was overwhelming.
Everyone was kissing Randy's ass on Twitter yesterday. Let me ask you something.
I didn't
You
reach
know what?
out.
It's about time, too.
I didn't reach out because I was saving it for today, but Randy, you, I appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship over the years, and you're just kind of the king locally of what you do, and we all really appreciate you for everything you've done, not only on the air but in the community too.
If I can do my best to try and sound hip, and in vernacular kids use today, Randy is him. Have you heard people say that? Randy's him.
He is that guy.
He is him.
I haven't heard that one yet. That's supposed to be a compliment?
Yes. Like maybe, I dunk on a neighbor. That'll never happen outside of maybe with a donut. And I go, I'm him, that kind of thing.
I'll try to wrap
a lot of media in this market have done a lot of good things for raising awareness for different causes, but I don't know that anybody has topped what you have done. So
that'd be surprising if anyone has.
Yes.
If you missed
it's a high bar.
If you missed it, Randy made his announcement yesterday. He's retiring from television in end of June. Is that right, Randy?
That's correct. Yep.
But he's sticking around with this radio program. Yesterday was very interesting. At the close of the show, Randy normally never hangs around any later than he has to. By 8:20, he gets antsy. He wants out. But yesterday he joined us about 5 to 9 and made the announcement to our listening audience. And Josh wasn't lying. A lot of folks texted in. Yeah, you had folks getting emotional listening to the radio.
Yeah. And plenty were scared. Like, well, what does that mean? He's not leaving the show, right? I mean, I even had my mom and my brother reached out going, you have a mortgage to pay. Randy can't go anywhere. And I tell him, no, he'll be here.
Now, and we mentioned the adulation you were receiving on social media. Randy Shaver, did Chris Carter reach out to you and wish you well in your retirement?
He did not.
Okay.
How about Cam Newton?
No, but Dave St. Peter wrote a nice note on Twitter this morning.
That's
which
cool.
I appreciate.
The guy, he does things for the Twins.
Yep.
Yes,
yeah.
he does.
What's his job title?
Team president.
Team president Dave St. Peter. Oh, that's pretty sweet.
I got to say, people They can't wait, Randy, until you no longer have to be, you can loosen up even more than you already have.
I read a few of those.
Did you? Yeah, they're looking forward to Randy throwing an F-bomb out on the air or getting wasted or calling people out.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, when you won't have to worry about that anymore.
People think that I'm going to change because I'm no longer doing TV. I don't know if that's going to be the case.
There will not be a bridge unburned.
Yeah.
It's possible, when you no longer have these, straighter than...
I suppose.
These straighter than a Grizzlies D, old-timers watching you on television, and then, you got to worry about their opinion of you. Maybe you'll become like the Andrew Dice Clay of this program or something, just a filthy...
I've had a few moments where I've walked into work at TV thinking, gosh, I wonder if anybody listened this morning.
I have those days when I walk into class wondering the same thing.
Yeah, I know. And you just kind of go, gosh, I wonder if anybody heard what we said this morning, or I laughed at something that maybe I shouldn't have. Or,
you see, you won't have to worry about that nonsense.
Not at all. We were mindful of that, too, when it came to promos and stuff. We're like, well, let's not put that in a promo. Randy might not like that.
There you go. All right, we got to get going again because the boys are going to brawl here in about 15 or so minutes. Dad Fights Part 100 plus 61. Before we get to that, the close of last night's Wolves game is how you say it. The close of the game had me pumped.
Yeah.
At least for one night, they were that clutch ball club.
Yeah.
And it's all thanks to Anthony Edwards, who, as you heard in the intro there, he says he's never jumped that high in his life, and it sure looked that way. Some bitch wrapped his head on the rim, blocking a shot at the buzzer that would have sent the game into overtime against the Indiana Pacers. Scored 44 points on the night. And I'll tell you what, he better get his ass back and block that shot. He missed a free throw, which drives me nuts. No, Carl, they had to work their asses off. But they got the win on the road over Indianapolis. That was a very exciting close to the ball game.
He's going to have to do that about 20 more times the rest of the season. He's going to have to put his team on his back. But that was one of the top 5 blocks I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I was lights out.
Totally agree with that. And I will say this, the Wolves are very lucky they didn't lose him to injury last night on that play, because he came down really hard. Not only did he hit his head on the rim, but he came down really hard. It was great to see him jump right back up. Sometimes guys will do that anyway just because of the adrenaline. Then later you find out they were hurt. We haven't heard anything about that today. But with the news that Towns is going to be out at least a month, probably more, I'm guessing, this is not where this Wolves team wants to be at this point. They're on this big road trip. They're fighting like hell to try to stay in the top spot. It's going to be... This is probably one of the more interesting Wolves closes to a season that I can remember in a long time, because they have so much to play for.
It has the potential to be, yes.
There's so much drama, and now you add this injury into the mix, and now you're every game's going to have this incredible significance as we head down the stretch.
I know you don't like talking about Jimmy Butler, Nick, but I got to bring this up. It was
How many times do I have to say this?
No, but
every time you bring up, the last 5-6 times you've brought up Jimmy Butler, I've said, go ahead, I don't care anymore. I'm over it.
On a little bit different level, this resembles when he got hurt back in 2018, because I was working for him then. We were third in the West with the number 1 seed within eye shot. He got hurt, and we barely hung on to a playoff spot. I don't think it's going to be like that this time, because we didn't have Anthony Edwards, but it has the same kind of a feel like, okay, how far are we going to slip here?
And you know what? You never know. Once Naz Reid or Kyle Anderson get used to a little bit more responsibility, maybe this team will keep cruising. We don't know. We'll find out.
I was just going to say that. The signing of Naz Reid saved this team at this point right now. Think about if they had not re-signed Reid and they were in this situation with Towns out down the stretch at the end of the regular season, fighting for whatever playoff position they end up. Reid will do a great job filling in, and they're going to miss Towns. There's no doubt about it. They're going to have to figure out some things. But maybe this is the thing that wakes this team up, right? Maybe this is the thing that Chris Finch, he's been, begging this team all year to grow up, to find a way to win at the end, to be mature. Maybe this is it. Maybe the injury to Towns and all these other guys realizing if I don't step up and play the way I'm capable and we all play great together, this thing could collapse, and this would be such a disappointment considering how hard they've worked to get to this point.
Could be a good lesson learned by the boys. And speaking of injuries, Monte Morris also hurt himself last night. Some of you are going, who the hell's Monte? But he's the guy that they brought in a few weeks ago to back up Mike Conley. He's a good jump shooter, good all-around player. Monte Morris is hurt also. At least his hamstring went sideways on him last night. We hope he's going to be okay because he's very important to where this team's going to go from here on out. I got a text message from Catfishing Jesus. He's probably the biggest Wolves fan that I know. So, Carl, with all this bad news, again, he's hurt. You know, it happens. It's happened to lots of Carl in his career where, son of a bitch, right when things get cooking, something happens to him. With all that on Carl's mind, yesterday, he still donated a big chunk of money to a Wolves fan's GoFundMe type of a situation. A fan contacted Carl about his mother passing away, and Carl made a generous donation to help with funeral costs. That should be noted.
That's pretty cool.
That despite all the personal problems that Carl's been going through lately, you know, he still is a generous enough guy to say, hey, man, here's a little something to help you out.
Yeah.
Good for him. All right. Jesus, we got so much going on. I mentioned earlier, I really, truly, I've begun to hate this time of year. I really have. You got all the tournaments going on and the high school and the pro. It's overwhelming. Big Ten ladies basketball tournament. The Golden Gopher ladies got bumped last night. Yeah. And the Iowegians play tonight?
5:30.
Yeah. Okay.
5:30.
Golden Gopher dudes basketball. They're at Northwestern tomorrow night. Who can get on their computer and look up the final score of last night's college men's basketball game between Pepperdine and Pacific? Now, the reason I need an answer to this is I read last night that at halftime of this college basketball game, the score was 56 points for Pepperdine and 9 for Pacific.
Dude, the final score was 43-102. Pepperdine obviously won.
Can you say that the right way?
102 to 43.
102 points to 43.
Yep.
Was the final. Good Lord.
Well, they played them closer the second half.
They did.
Yeah, actually, it was relatively close.
Is that a moral victory?
Compared to the shellacking of 56-9.
At least Pepperdine called the dogs off in the second half.
My God, 56-9 at halftime.
Jeez. Just go home at that point.
I would leave. Yes, I would leave dramatically. Well, now, college basketball-wise, a little bit more here for you. The Army basketball program, not something that crosses my mind terribly often. They will miss the NCAA tournament for the 86th straight season. They didn't have a strong conference record. They already lost out in their conference tournament. So, Army now holds the lowly honor of being one of 3 Division I programs never to have participated in the NCAA tournament. We talk every year, right, about, hey, who are the teams that have never even made the Super Bowl? Who are the teams that have never won a cup, never gotten to on the college basketball scene, it's just Army, the Citadel, and William and Mary are the only Division I programs to have never played one single game in the NCAA tournament. Ain't that something?
Bobby Knight was the head coach at Army at the age of 24.
Yes.
That might be the last time they were...
Well, here's an interesting side note on the story.
Wasn't Mike Krzyzewski too?
He was part of that. Yes.
Krzyzewski played for Bobby Knight, right?
I think that's
yes.
the connection.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm looking right now. Bobby Knight won 100 games at Army.
There's a side note here. Here's the deal. In 67-68, Bobby Knight was the coach. They had a 20-5 record, and Army was invited to the NCAA tournament, but Bobby Knight turned it down believing his team had a better chance of winning the National Invitational Tournament.
Well, I'm sure that was probably the case.
But back then, that was just about as big of a tournament.
Yes, it was. What people don't remember is that there was a time when the NIT was every bit as popular as the NCAA. I mean, maybe even years it was more popular. So the reason why Knight said, no, we don't want to play in the NCAA tournament in 1967-8, and yes, I believe Mike Krzyzewski was playing for him. Okay.
Yep.
UCLA with Lou Alcindor was beating everybody they're beating everybody by 30 points. And Bobby Knight said, why do we want to go to the NCAA tournament, get our guts stomped out by UCLA eventually, when we can go to the NIT and maybe win the sumbitch? Plus, Madison Square Garden, where they host the NIT, was much closer to West Point. He did not want the kids to have to travel to wherever they placed them in the NCAA. Well, his strategy did kick him in the nuts. They lost in the opening round to Notre Dame in the NIT. But it's funny to read now that a coach would say, yeah, no thanks. We're going to go over here instead. Joel Eriksson Ek broke a 2-2 third-period tie, and then the Pigs followed with a couple of sissy-ass empty net goals. But they beat Arizona last night on the road by 5-2 final over there at Mullet Arena. The Coyotes, Arizona Coyotes, have lost 16 in the last 18 games. Oof. So Ek scored his 29th. The Russian kid scored his 30th. Now tonight, they're at Colorado, who is damn good, especially at home.
Zach.
And they got a pissed-off Zach on the roster
and
now.
they just traded a guy to Colorado, right? Didn't they just trade Duhaime to Colorado?
Yep.
Yeah.
Duhaime could probably just stay on the Wild's flight to Colorado and just walk across the hallway.
It's that old Mark Salas situation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mark Salas, a catcher for the Twins back in the early 80s. Weren't the Yankees playing a series at the Metrodome?
Yes, something like that.
I believe after the game was over, Mark Salas was told he was traded to the Yankees. So he packed his bags and he went over to their locker room. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, guys, I'm Mark Salas. I'm your new...
Same thing with Mankiewicz and the Red Sox.
Yes, I was just about to say that, Dana. That happened with Mankiewicz. I was there when that happened.
The Super Fox, Doug Mankiewicz. State hockey tournament. Here are your results from the AA setup yesterday. Cretin-Derham Hall, couple of overtimes that beat Centennial. I understand that maybe Cretin-Derham Hall was down by 3 goals, came back, won it in 2 overtimes.
Yep.
Edina completely smoked my Elk River Zimmerman crowd there. Great Rapids. That's not the town. Grand Rapids beat White Bear Lake. Was that also? 1.6 seconds left. A kid from Grand Rapids scored to win that game.
Yeah,
who did I
that.
miss? Chanhassen curb stomped the Rochester Club. Semifinals today and tonight. High school hockey. They broke an attendance record yesterday in the AA.
Yeah, big news.
Some bitchin' session. Golden Gopher Dudes hockey. They're here for the Big Ten tournament versus Penn State. Best of a 3 type of a setup. Golden Gopher ladies. See why I hate this time of year? They're against stupid Wisconsin in their Big Ten tournament. File this under my I don't care category. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are going to have a fake patty cake boxing match in July.
So silly. And that says all you need to say about that.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is I read that a lot of professional fighters are really upset about this. They're upset at Jake Paul for continuing to sign up for these phony fights.
I hate him.
And this and that, of course, and that's what he does. He signs up for phony fights and then acts like he's legitimate. But what they're really upset about, it seems to me from reading, they're afraid that Jake Paul's going to seriously hurt Mike Tyson because Mike he's not well. He's 57 years old. It's not 1990 anymore.
Right.
He's got problems with his head.
He needs a cane to walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he can barely walk. He has problems with his noggin. He has to sit down in a wheelchair once in a while.
Isn't there somebody that can just say, hey, this is not a good idea for either one of you guys?
I mean, think of like a doctor or someone would come
somebody.
up.
Yeah, didn't they used to have good fights sanctioned?
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Isn't there some sort of governing body that would say, look, this is not something that we want to be a part of, just because of the possibility of a serious injury here?
Yes, you're right. Although this has been announced and there's posters being handed out and everything. It's still, they want to have the fight in Texas, I think, where the Cowboys play their football games. And there's still the Texas Department of Licensing and this, and have to approve it yet. So maybe it won't happen. But my guess is if you got enough money in your pocket, they'll make it happen. But, okay, I understand the concerns about Mike Tyson, but you have to hit the brakes. This is not going to be a real fight. Mm-hmm. They're going to patty cake. Like a lot of these YouTube guy versus fake fighter setups. It's going to be a patty cake match. I wouldn't be too worried about Mike Tyson. It's silly, yes, but I don't think that either one of them are going to fight for real. This is a joke. One more note. Here we go. Could this finally be it? Some Twin Cities sporting events officials, whoever they are, have been hinting that there's a major announcement in the coming weeks. They've been talking about an event coming to town that will, how did they put it? Will be second only in size and economic impact to the Super Bowl coming to town. So go ahead. WrestleMania. We'll see about that. That's kind of what it sounds like. But these sports events officials have been hinting that they're going to announce something in a few weeks.
They've been working on that for a long time. I know some of the people who work over there, so it's got to be that.
I don't even think they'll announce it until this year's WrestleMania. That's usually how they do it.
They said last year, though, they didn't announce Philly until July. But yeah, you're right, though. In the past, Waffle, they do typically announce at WrestleMania weekend.
And when is WrestleMania this year?
April 6th?
Okay, that would kind of fall into the timeline, wouldn't it, Wapple?
Yeah.
You dirty bastard.
Yeah,
so there
April
you go.
6th and 7th.
Will you be taking that week off, Wapple?
If it's WrestleMania's here, I probably would love to.
I'd imagine so.
Oh, if it's here. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you still following WWE as closely as you used to?
Not WWE, but why I would love it is I've always wanted to go to a WrestleMania, but also all the independent shows that would be happening before WrestleMania would be more exciting for me. Because all the independent wrestlers, they all kind of come to town, they go to bars, and they do a bunch of independent shows.
Right.
The whole week of WrestleMania.
I'll take the week off if Miss Bum Bum comes to town. What do they call that again, Josh?
Yeah, the Brazilian Miss Bum Bum
Miss Bum Bum, if that comes to town.
They fill up U.S. Bank Stadium for that.
All right, Andrew, hit the switch, will you? There you go. Every stinking Friday morning, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, the ass man and the lonely boy, they meet up here on our radio show and we throw some random trivia their way. It's fun. It's educational. Our listeners can follow along and root for one guy or the other. It's competitive. And both Randy and Brad enjoy that element to it all, don't they, Josh? The competitiveness.
They love it. Yeah. They're very competitive, gentlemen.
But most important, it's healthy. With Randy Shaver retiring from television soon and Brad Ryder sleepwalking through his current career as a college professor. This is about the only. This is
How
about
do you
the
know
only.
me so well?
The only mental exercise you two get all week, really. I just got a text from a listener that says Randy was on television too.
Yeah, for like a long time.
This is good mental exercise. So, Randy's upcoming retirement from television is a big topic of conversation around here. And it has inspired the topic for this week's trivia contest between Randy and Brad Ski. Randy, you're all done with TV coming up in June. You'll hang around with us here on the radio show. Who knows how long that will last? I mean, really, maybe Josh and I can retire in 10 years or so. Maybe one of us dies, who knows?
Oh, my God.
Well, what?
Don't say that.
But, Randy, if all goes well, before you know it,
yes,
you'll be what folks call an octogenarian. It's right around the corner. You'll be in your 80s.
I had to take a double take. I have to be honest, when I saw the article written in the Star Trib yesterday, I looked at it and I said, 65? 65?
Who's 65?
God, I guess that's me.
There's a chance that we could all still be on air together, and you're an running genarian in your 80s.
Oh, my God.
Today
Imagine
we're going to
that conversation.
I know, wouldn't that just wake up, Randy? Wake up.
Mouthful of prunes.
Push the morning show back to 11 a.m.
That reminds me of Sid on the radio.
Yeah.
Medication time, gentlemen. Medicate. Today we're going to give you two boys hints and information on some of the most famous, talented, decorated, celebrated, and much loved octogenarians. You boys will You'll have to try and name these famous folks in the 80s. And they're still kicking. Like you hopefully will be, Randy Shape.
I hope so.
And here's a little extra info to help you out. No athletes today.
Oh. Okay.
These old-timers are world famous, but none of them athletes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I think damn near every one of these octogenarians that we've included in our contest, I think most of them gained their fame in the movies. By God. So, listen closely to our hints. You'll do fine. Your goal, of course, as for every dad fight, you want to be the first to shout out the correct answer. If you are, you'll hear my cute little bell. That means you received a point. If you're incorrect, we've got a sound for you. I just don't know what it is yet.
It's going to be the guy screaming like a jet. I've had so many people saying that they love this the best now. Like it's taken over the new Costco fart.
You don't have to...
That was good.
That was good.
Yeah,
that is good.
And he sold it well there, Wapple.
The gentleman, who there was a jet that flew over his house, and he imitated the sound of what it was like to him when he listened to it.
Okay.
And he looked cool, by the way. He was a cool-looking dude.
He was able to look cool while making that noise?
Oh, yeah. You got to watch the video.
That'll be the incorrect sound. You can steal if your opponent answers incorrectly. 10 challenges plus a tiebreaker. And today, comic book nerd Jesus is in charge of the old intro.
It's Friday, and you know what that means, wrestling fans. Half-Ass Morning Show is live from Lindahl's Shack here in Minneapolis. Let's throw it down to the ring in the Dapper Crapper comic book nerd Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, this first match is a dad fight, being blown down to the ring by his tag team partner, Leaf Blower Guy. It's the whiner from Out Past the Diner, Brad, the Lonely Boy, Ryder! And his opponent driving down to the ring in an out-of-control golf cart and accompanied by his smoking hot valet, Jupiter James. He is the man who puts Ravishing Rick Rude, Val Venus, and Billy Gunn all to shame. It's Randy, the Ass Man, a shaver! This is Dad Fights CLXI. Or 161 for you Iowegians and Mankato State grads.
That was a pleasure, comic book nerd Jesus. Well done.
He also made a Dad Fights poster that you can see at 93x.com or on the 93x Hams Twitter.
He's done more work for this show than anyone else has in a long time.
It's really beautiful what he did. It's impressive.
I wish I knew how to get to those places that you just told us about. 93x.com and what?
In the 93x Hams Twitter.
Hams Twitter. Thank you very much. And send us an email, hams93x@gmail.com, if you'd like to be in charge of our next Dad Fights intro. It's Dad Fights Part 100 plus 61, the Octogenarian Edition. Gentlemen, are you all set to go?
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
I'll be damned.
An octogenarian who at 5'5" and 86 years old is the only actor in history to have top billing in 3 films which won the Best Picture Oscar. Like when he played an ailing con man in
Joe Pesci.
Now, An ailing con man in 1969's Midnight Cowboy, Brad. A high-powered advertising executive in Kramer versus Kramer a decade later in 1979. And a character named Raymond who always knew how many minutes until Wapner in 1988's Rain Man.
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman is correct. On a Friday in 1970, Hoffman's neighbor's house blew up. Members of the radical 1960s domestic terror group that called themselves the Weathermen were unknowingly living in the house and apparently stored a large amount of explosives, which accidentally detonated. Then almost exactly 40 years later, Hoffman helped save the life of a 27-year-old lawyer who suffered a cardiac arrest and collapsed while jogging in London's Hyde Park. A lot of drama surrounding that gentleman who plays in dramas.
These are real-life things that he's been through.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Dustin Hoffman, awesome. That's 1 point for Brad Ryder. Randy Shaver got a little aggressive.
Yep.
We understand that strategy. One of the best ever, Dustin Hoffman, no doubt. Tootsie is one of the greatest movies ever made.
Oh, I like that movie.
Absolutely one of the most hilarious movies ever made. And also, maybe someone can text me, maybe someone here can look it up. There's a little-known Dustin Hoffman movie, at least in my mind it's little-known, early 90s, where he plays kind of a down-on-his-luck sumbitch who becomes a hero. I think maybe it's simply called Hero, but I could be wrong. There's a plane crash. He saves some lives, but the credit goes to somebody else. Does anyone know?
He was in a movie called Hero.
Okay.
What's Andy Garcia in
it? That's it. Okay. Fun movie. And also, if you're a young person, you like a drinking game, watch that Dustin Hoffman movie Hero and drink every time he says, "For Christ's sake." You heard it here first. Drink every time he says, "For Christ's sake," and you probably end up in the hospital. 1-0 Brad Ryder. Here we go. Here's an old-timer who's considered about the best that's ever been at his particular craft, and despite being 83 years old, he still likes to bump gear with his girlfriend, who is 53 years younger than he is. Last June, he said hello to a little friend when his girlfriend
Al Pacino.
He said hello to his love friend when his girlfriend gave birth to a baby boy. She's 53 years younger than him. Oof.
Good Lord.
One of the first lessons he'll teach that little kid is that you don't ever take sides with anyone against the family, ever. That's correct. Al Pacino.
I think I would die in the act of conception.
I can't keep up with this. Pre-retirement, Randy never would have said that.
So she is 30.
Yeah.
His girlfriend is 30. And Al is 83. He has 3 other kids. One of them is older than his current girlfriend.
Oh, that's so weird, dude.
But you want to talk about some great Al Pacino movies. I know everyone talks about The Godfather and this and that. For me, Dog Day Afternoon, I can watch it every day. Carlito's Way, I could watch it every day. Donnie Brasco. Absolutely so easy for me to repeatedly watch those 3 films. Where are we on the score? Because I forgot.
2-2.
No.
2-0. I was going to say, wait a minute.
2-0.
2-0 in favor of Brad Ryder.
Yep.
God damn.
Despite the now 86-year-old blonde bombshell being nominated for countless acting awards, having the distinction of being part of the only father-daughter couple
Jane Fonda.
That's right, Randy. Yes, Jane Fonda's the correct answer. She has an IQ of 132, by the way.
Wow.
And, of course, people were Fonda her workout videos, which sold millions, and were credited as one of the influences that started the fitness craze of the decade.
Hey, Jane Fonda, only one thing comes to my mind. Barbarella. No one knows what I'm talking about?
Never saw it.
I haven't seen it, but I've certainly seen the poster.
No.
Barbarella. Watch it. Ooh, wee, wah, wah, wee, wah. We grew to hate her in this town, though. It wasn't fair, but we did grow to hate her, right? Why did we hate Jane Fonda?
The 1991 World Series.
Yes. Because there she sat with Ted Turner, those smug bastards rooting for the wrong ball club. Nice job, Randy Shaver. 2-1 is the score in favor of Brad. It's the Octogenarian edition of Dad Fights, giving hints and info on these old timers and seeing if the boys can identify it. What does this say? Okay. Let's see if you can name our next Jurassic all-timer by just naming off some of the terrific characters he has played in his most famous films. Here we go. Answer whenever you think you got it. President James Dale. George Hanson.
Harrison Ford.
All right, Randy answered Harrison Ford. That is incorrect. Brad Ryder, it's all you. I'll give you the rest of these character names. Frank Costello. Colonel Nathan Jessup. Randall McMurphy. Jack Torrance.
Jack Nicholson?
Yep. God dang it.
I wasn't sure.
Oh, Jessup was the one that...
Oh, so good.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Which movie's that?
Few Good Men.
Never saw it!
Oh,
you have to.
That is excellent.
God, I got you on that one.
Yeah, you did.
We're going to have to order a code red on Nick.
Yes. And you don't even know what that means.
Brad Ryder's up 3-0 here now.
No,
No,
3-1.
I got one.
All right.
Cheating me.
There's no reason to lose it.
I may be old, but I can still count.
You know I do this every week. I try my damnedest to keep up with the score. Okay, 3-1. Like it friggin' matters.
It does matter.
Jack Nicholson, at 86 years old, he has unofficially retired from acting. Last I heard, a good friend was quoted a year ago saying that Nicholson was, quote, doing whatever he really wants to do. He wants to be quiet. He wants to eat what he wants. He wants to live the life that he wants.
Good for him.
That's a dangerous slope when you're 86, man. If you're going to eat and drink anything you want.
Well, you think
If I make it that far, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
You know
definitely.
what? If you get to that point, you've earned that.
Absolutely.
I guess.
What does it matter, for Christ's sake?
Yeah.
3-1, fine.
A lot of people try and impersonate his unique speaking style.
James Earl Jones.
Boy, retirement
I'm trying
Randy.
hard. I'm just trying to. I just want to win as quick as I can.
You take a lot of chances.
I am.
It's time for a nap.
Retirement Randy is a risk taker.
Yeah, it's all you, Brad, here.
Okay.
So, yes, a lot of people try and impersonate his unique speaking style, but it would take some serious talent to imitate the 80-year-old's impressive acting career. He's appeared in music videos for Madonna, hosted Saturday Night Live 7 times, played a mobster in the Witness Protection Program and the revered cinematic masterpiece Joe Dirt. He was Oscar nominated for his roles in The Deer Hunter, Catch Me If You Can. And to continue walking down memory lane, he's also starred in Pulp Fiction, Stand Up Guys, True Romance, Click, and Batman Returns.
Christopher Walken.
How'd you get that one?
I like to let you read the whole thing.
Christopher Walken. The Deer Hunter, dude. F's me up, man. I love that movie. The Russian roulette scene.
Yeah, I can't
More cowbell.
It's so dark. Shut up, Brad Ryder.
No, that's different.
Shut your friggin' hole.
Why did you do that?
We're talking about The Deer Hunter, and you want to dump in that stupid-ass Saturday Night Live bit? I'm going to do it, Josh. I'm going to do it again.
No, I don't want to. I can't.
What? Do what?
I can't. That scene.
I got to do my imitation of Robert De Niro. I don't have a Christopher Walken imitation, but this is Robert De Niro during the Russian roulette scene in Deer Hunter. Trust me, this is perfect, okay? Do it, Mickey! Do it! You gotta do it! Show him you got balls, Mickey! Do it! Oh!
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh! Give him the Oscar.
All right. Now it's 4-1, Brad. Next up, we're looking for the name of a terrific actor who has hit 81 years old and still hasn't grown any taller than 5'4"
Joe
inches.
Pesci. Thank
There you go, Randy.
Damn time.
I couldn't get to the bell fast enough. Yeah, Randy was waiting on that one. 5'4" Joe Pesci. Despite his small stature, he has convincingly played some of the most menacing characters in movie history, like Tommy DeVito in Goodfellas and Nicky Santoro in Catino. And every Christmas, some of you suckers watch that stupid Home Alone. Yeah, Joe Pesci.
Nothing stupid about Home Alone, but Joe Pesci in Casino, that scared the hell out of me.
Oh, yeah.
What's that do, 10 the Vice?
Oh, man. He was terrifying in that one.
Okay, I'm going to do my imitation of De Niro and Pesci from Casino. The scene where they're playing Russian roulette. Do it, Nicky! Show me the balls! Do it! We're going to get out of here in a minute, Nicky! Do it! Oh! Great story about Joe Pesci here. He's at the airport. Little kid walks up to him and says, hey, are you Joe Pesci? And Joe Pesci says, yeah. And Joe Pesci asks the kid, who's your favorite actor? And the kid says, well, you. And then Joe Pesci gave him $100 bills and said, that's the right answer, kid.
That's awesome.
What's the score, Wapple?
It is 4-2 Brad.
4-2 Brad. A 6-time Emmy and Golden Globe Award winner and 3-time Tony Award winner. He's done it all since making his theatrical debut in 1958, acted in movies like Crimes and Misdemeanors, written books, directed countless projects, and even hosts his own podcast. But from TV is where you'll best know this 88-year-old, as hawk-eyed fans Alan Alda is the correct answer. Before Alda's 2003 emergency surgery in Chile, the surgeon tried to explain the procedure he was about to perform in layman's terms. But Alda confidently asserted that the operation is called an end-to-end anastomosis. The stunned surgeon asked how he knew that, and he replied that he'd done the procedure numerous times on the hit television show MASH.
There you go, Alan Alda. My goodness. Still around 88, you said?
Yeah. Hanging in there.
There's so many great actors and musicians that have been that are still around that are in this age range. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alan Alda was great on MASH, no question about it. Great TV show. 5-2.
Yep. You're right.
Finish him.
Yep.
Well, yeah, Brad could win it right here. Okay.
Yep.
Here we go, another octogenarian. When you've had the incredible career that this next 81-year-old singer, actress, and songwriter has had.
Barbra Streisand.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Oh, good one.
That's right, Barbra Streisand. Did you guys know that she cloned her dog?
What?
No, how do you do that?
I don't know how you do that, but wait a minute. Don't we all know how you do that nowadays?
I couldn't do it for you, but I have an idea.
I mean, we've heard many stories about cloning.
Yeah, the sheep back in the day.
She cloned her dog. And now she's got 3 dogs that look exactly like the original dog. I don't know. She's out of her mind. You're correct. Barbra Streisand. 5-3.
That's definitely a little different.
Yeah.
The stories about our next octogenarian are almost too incredible to believe. People say the 83-year-old martial artist and action star plays Jenga.
Chuck Norris.
Dude, Randy.
Randy's on the heater.
I think he's a shark. What's going on here? That was awesome. Yeah, some of the jokes. He plays Jenga with Stonehenge. He seasons his steak with pepper spray. He makes Happy Meals cry, blows bubbles with beef jerky.
Makes Happy Meals.
Chuck Norris, who turns 84 on Sunday, by the way, gets asked about the popular Chuck Norris facts quite a bit. He says he finds some of them humorous, but does hope they lead to people reading actual facts about his life. In 2009, the official Chuck Norris fact book was released, which was co-written and officially endorsed by Chuck himself.
Wow, it's 5-4 Brad now. Randy making a dramatic comeback in this edition of our Dad Fights Trivia Showdown, talking about famous octogenarians. Randy making an unbelievable comeback. Chuck Norris, I've mentioned this before. I never really dialed into his scene.
Oh, I like Chuck Norris, yeah.
I think maybe I watched one of his movies. I think it was it Invasion USA?
Did you watch any of the Expendables movies?
Never saw it.
Walker, Texas Ranger?
No, never saw. I dig the bit, but I just never. I was always much more into like Steven Seagal and who am I missing, Josh, from those?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. Here we go. Randy could tie it up here and force a tiebreaker. Brad could win it outright. Here's one of the greatest actors ever to come out of the United Kingdom. He's effing 86 years old by
Michael
now.
Caine.
That was a good guess.
Yeah, it was a good guess.
That go for it attitude, Randy Shaver, that you've adopted since you announced your retirement, it may have bitten you in the ass.
Yeah,
for good on this one. One of the greatest actors, Brad Ryder, this one's all to you. 86 years old, came out of the UK. Most folks would say his greatest performance was when he played a flesh-eating psycho killer named Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Yams. Yams? Dams?
It's a Weird Al version.
For my money, it's when he taught all of us that what one man can do, another can do, in an outstanding 1997 film called The Edge. Who is it, Brad Ryder?
Anthony Hopkins.
Fatality.
If Randy would have tied this up, I was going to do something that's never been done here before. I was going to guess before you gave a clue on the tiebreaker.
Oh, go ahead. Let's see if you
Because I think I know where your mind would have been on the tiebreaker.
All right, let's hear it.
This is
Morgan Freeman.
Dude, it's Morgan Freeman.
Would I have gotten it right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I was going to say, can I guess without a clue? Because you were going to use the whole Brad is whatever.
Yes.
So,
Oh my
yeah.
God. Yeah.
Yeah. See? I know you guys so well.
We're that predictable, huh?
Yep.
That
You
was
know
an
what?
exciting...
That was worth losing the whole thing.
What a very exciting game between the both of you. Final score, Brad Ryder 6, Randy Shaver 4. Yes, Anthony Hopkins, the winning answer. Oh, my damn.
That was Brad's 69th career win in dad fights.
Oh.
Nice.
Nice. You played that perfectly, Brad. Both of you guys go out and have a terrific weekend.
All right.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
every damn thing. And to our listening audience, we got to take a break, but we'll be back in a minute here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Our customers are our top priority, whether that's providing same-day service or solving a cooling issue for that addition on your home. Ashley, tell our listeners about this month's AC specials.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
What's up, folks? Anthony Armstrong here. Bob Popple, along with Super Bowl champion Carl Banks.
Hey, NFL fans. This is Solomon Wilcox, former NFL safety and host of the Believe in Bengals podcast. Catch my show and all 32 Believe NFL podcasts. Listen in to former players give their inside perspective on your favorite team. Search Believe, that's B-L-E-A-V, on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcast.
It's always football season, wherever you listen.
Man, F this. I want to go home.
Same here.
You want to wrap it? Oh, you guys both want out, huh?
Yeah.
I want to go. But you know, what the hell? The way I see it, Cubby, when you again carry a radio station all week long, what's 20 more minutes, right?
Bless your heart.
What's 26 more? I think I can do the arithmetic. Welcome back to the Half-Assed Morning Show. And then there's Ashley over there looking to start trouble.
What'd she do?
Always.
She wants to start an argument. And she's brave, too. She's the only woman in the room. And she wants to start a women versus men type of an argument. Well, not really. But she did come in today holding an article titled 10 Proven Reasons Why It's Great to Be a Woman. It is International Women's Day, is it not, Cubby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She comes walking in with kind of a smart-ass look on her face, carrying an article that says 10 Proven Reasons Why It's Great to Be a Woman. And, we could turn it into a battle of the sexes type argument. That could be fun. We could.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, it's just statements on why it's great to be a woman, but we could turn it into an argument. And there she sits all alone, surrounded by dodes.
Let's go.
Yeah, she ain't scared of jack squat. Let me roll through this now. Just pretty good stuff. Happy National, how do you call it? Happy International
Women's
Day to all of the ladies in the... Here's proven reasons why it's great to be a woman. And we'll see if we got any smart mouth comments for you. Women live longer lives. Well, the number one joke there is, why do women live longer than men? Or wait a minute, why do men die earlier than women? Because we want to. There's that old joke. Women live longer lives. Of all the people on planet Earth, Josh, 100 years or older, 85% of them are women's.
I would have actually assumed it'd be higher.
Yeah, I would too.
100%.
Because you hear that stat so often, right? I mean, I'm trying to think. So my wife's grandmother, she made it to 91 or 92, and I think she outlived her husband by like 30-some years or more.
Yep. I think if we talked about it across the board, most of the really long-living bastards that we've known in our lives have been women's.
Yeah, my grandma right now, she's 97.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. That's impressive.
That's great.
You know,
how old was your grandpa when he passed? Like her
36.
I want to say 92.
Was this the one that passed relatively recently, within the last couple of years?
Yep.
And he was 92. That's impressive.
He was 92 or 91.
Both my grandpas checked out pretty quickly. Their wives, I mean, they hung on until the bitter end. Ooh, they went into their 90s quite a ways. So yeah, it's a common thing. And maybe some folks, I don't have any information on this in front of me, but maybe some folks would assume that it's because we dudes are a little more reckless. We smoke more, we drink more, we eat more recklessly and all that. I don't know if any of that's true, but I think that's a relatively safe assumption.
Yeah.
Women live long. Huh?
We do dumb things.
Yeah, we're reckless. Women live longer than men on average, about 5 to 10 years longer.
That, it's funny you say that, Wapo, because one of my favorite lines from Ashley is we were telling some story about some guy did something ridiculous, and I believe, Ashley, you said, this is why women live longer than men.
Yep.
Oh, I bet if I put some fireworks on the back of this skateboard, I can jump over this ravine.
I mean, neither of my grandmothers, neither one of them, ever had a single drink or a cigarette in their lives.
That's crazy.
Oh, it was the opposite for my grandmas. Total opposite, especially one of them.
They were the straightest two ladies you'll ever meet. Jesus balls.
Maybe women just like to outlive their husbands because finally we can get some peace and quiet for a couple of years.
See, well, that's the joke about men dying earlier, right?
Here we go. Right. Now, see, now you're starting trouble. Women's. And this one's kind of boring, but I'll throw it your way anyway. I like this conversation. I'm just telling you, this one's not going to women have stronger immune systems. Well, Ashley, you don't really show any proof of that.
No, definitely not.
And I think I've seen my mom sick way more than my dad. I feel like I've only seen my dad sick like twice in my lifetime.
He doesn't show it.
Yeah.
He's sick of a lot of things at this point.
Boy, are a lot of them me.
Yeah. That's what it is, Wapple. Your dad's been sick plenty of times. He doesn't show it.
He's sick to his stomach.
Yeah. Yeah, Ashley, you're not going to be on the cover of any magazines talking about how women have a stronger immune system than men.
Nah, they're just going to skip right over me.
Yeah.
Social Anxiety Jesus texted in a photo of a billboard that says, this year thousands of men will die from stubbornness, and somebody spray painted on there, no, we won't.
Again, Ashley's report that she brought in this morning, the reasons why it's great to be a woman. And, of course, we're going to try to turn it into an argument because it's much more fun that way. Women are great leaders. According to business experts, women make great leaders for many reasons. A few of them being the tendency to be open to communication and collaboration. Well, our big boss here at the radio station is a woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love that.
In this building and all the way up. And we've had... Of the biggest bosses in this building, there's been plenty of them that were women.
I absolutely love that.
I love our boss here in the building. The big biggity boss that I was referring to.
Great.
I don't know. I've talked to her a few times. I don't know too much about the one here in the building. She is one cool and fun person. So go ahead, be our leader.
Like she'll hang out with us and stuff.
Yeah.
Often with a boss and seems to actually enjoy it.
Right.
Women have a great capacity to hold on to the memories.
I like this.
Are they saying that women have better memories than men? Let me read this again. Women have a great capacity to hold on to memories. They're great at recalling details from early on in their lives. I don't understand what this means. This may be due to the way we learned to tell stories when we were younger.
I didn't really get that part either. But I like this one because I don't know. It makes me think of like
See, you're having a trouble remembering.
Like how we don't forget when somebody wrongs us.
Oh, yeah.
Like in relationships, like that little spin on it. It's like a nice way to put that, I feel like.
If they're simply saying women have better memories, I'll go along with it. Maybe that goes back to how they don't smoke and drink as much as dudes do. I don't know.
My girlfriend is shocked how good my memory is, especially with how much I smoke. She is blown away.
I think weed mostly affects your short-term memory.
You just said that, Ashley. Like you just said that.
I have also been complimented on my memory.
Yeah.
Long term, I've been complimented. Short term, I struggle a little bit. I mean, I don't know.
You do have a great memory.
Yeah, definitely.
Here's one I'm going to friggin' argue. Women are cleaner. No, they're not.
Well, I can tell you just from my personal experience after living with plenty of them, relatives and girlfriends, and now my wife, daughter, they are slobs. I'm talking about the people I'm talking about, not women in general, but they are the biggest slobs that I know.
I agree with you, Josh.
My mom is the cleanest person I've ever known. I'll come over to the house or to my folks' house, and she'll apologize for the mess. And there's not a single thing on the countertop. There's not even a speck of dirt on the floor. Like, what are you talking about?
It depends on what it is, because I found the houses are a lot cleaner from women, but cars are horrible.
Boy, I can tell you, in my personal experience, that's not it's both.
No, Wapple. I mean, you got your personal experience, Josh.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's got a different story to tell, but damn near every woman I've ever been involved with has been an absolute slob. I don't care if it's car, I don't care what it is. They look fine. They don't look like slovenly people, but take a look in their car, take a look at where they sleep. It's disgusting.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, because my wife has impeccable hygiene, which I don't. She had all that kind of stuff, takes very good care of herself, but yeah, anything, house, car, stuff like that. Drawers, it's a disaster.
You don't want to see what's in their drawers.
No.
See, it had always been the case, same with you guys, where women were just the messiest people I knew in my life until I met my current gal. She is top to bottom, car, house, everything is impeccably clean, and I was just like, I didn't know it could be like this. This is wonderful.
Isn't she your fiance at this point?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you forget?
She seems like she's got that. She'd be that type to make sure everything's nice and clean.
Everything's
she's got
in
her
order.
life together.
Mm-hmm.
I think what she's trying to do is fill spaces so you don't put your crap around the house. She doesn't need a Fast and Furious Lego set.
No. See, the walls everything's up there. Nope, no room for anything else. Everything's where it needs to be.
Oh, no. I want to recognize real quick, it's me, Dean Jesus. He went through a traumatic experience that I suffered as a young man developing into adolescence.
Oh, here we go.
He said, I had the unfortunate pleasure of joining your elite group. I take care of my 89-year-old grandma, and yesterday I saw her cans.
Oh.
Please help and have a great day.
Are you going to invite him to your meeting, your weekly meeting, Josh?
You know, I'm the only one that I know who has accidentally seen his grandmother's breasts, and now it's me, Dean Jesus. Yeah, we should start a club.
It's you sitting in a circle of folding chairs. You're the only one in a chair each week. And
just kind of rocking back and forth.
Yeah, you're smoking cigarettes and stuff.
Just pounding coffee, just shaking.
Here's the deal. It's me, Dean Jesus. I don't like to turn anyone down when they ask for help, but I have no idea what it is any of us could do or say to help you.
Just know we're here for you.
You just took a look at your 89-year-old grandmother's, as you called them, cans. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
You are on your own.
No, you can't be prepared for it. You can't. It's tough to get over it, and I've had decades to get over it, and it still bothers me, so I feel for you,
Well,
man.
you were very lucky compared to Dean. Very lucky. How old was your grandmother at the time?
60s.
You're very lucky compared to Dean.
Well, maybe his grandma's got some nice implants or something like that. I don't know.
Nice knowing you, Dean. It's over for you.
Thank you for sharing that. That's the first. We're on the path to healing now. Now that you brought it up.
Yeah, we are. We are yet to complete the reasons why it's great to be a woman. We'll wrap it up when we come back. It's almost over. It's about the end of our Friday, and I got 2 words to describe my next move after we clear out of here. 2 words. Girl Scout by God cookies in my hot little mouth.
Oh, did you already get some?
Yeah, I got some.
I ordered some for you, too.
I'm going to fall
Oh, yeah.
under. My carcass is going to fall under my disgusting, unwashed bedding. I always like to grab the cat, even though he doesn't want to join me. I force the cat to get in bed with me, and then I'm going to force him to watch me assault my own body with Girl Scout cookies. For hours. Then I'm going to fall unconscious for hours.
That sounds awesome.
Are we talking a variety or one particular flavor?
I don't care. What they got, I'll eat it.
I'm with you.
I know you like that kind of stuff,
Except
for sure.
for Thin Mints.
What do you mean?
I don't like those.
What?
Nobody likes Thin Mints.
I think
thought that's
mint
the one
should be-
everybody loves.
No one's ever liked them.
I don't
They're the
think
least
mint-
popular. No one
mint
ever
should
talks
not be in
about them.
any food.
I like the Samoas, but I think now they call them like caramel clusters.
Yeah, something like that. Those are fire. They're smaller than they usually
I'm joking, of course. Ashley's going against the grain. Everyone loves Thin Mints.
They make like a caramel cluster cereal.
What the? Are you supposed to do that? Is that?
Again, I did not want to turn this into a 25-minute food conversation.
So the is actually in the title.
Oh, it is.
Extra C's in there.
Yeah, just a bunch of C's.
It's International Women's Day. So here comes Ashley this morning, and she's got a report that she wanted all of us to look over thoroughly. It's the proven reasons why it's great to be a woman. We've rolled through some of it so far. Women live longer. I did get a joke or two here from dudes in our listening audience. Women live longer, a listener says, because they wouldn't be on time for death. What is this other one? Women make good archaeologists because they love digging up the past. Okay. Women live longer lives. They have stronger immune systems. They're great leaders. They handle stress well. Did I skip that one? I skipped that one.
You did earlier, yeah, you skipped that.
Women handle stress well. Earlier I said we could eat, not that we're against talking about the great reasons, the reasons why it's great to be a woman, but we could turn this into an argument, and that makes it fun. I'm going to argue that women handle stress well.
I'm with you.
I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm not buying that one.
Well, what do you think, Ashley?
I'm trying to, I guess stress. I think I handle stress pretty well.
You seem stressed.
Seem stressed answering that question.
I'm like constantly stressed, so I mean, I'm handling it pretty well because I can keep on with my daily life.
I see what you mean. You are constantly stressed.
It's a turn on things I didn't see coming.
Well, yeah, I mean that makes sense because you are handling the immense amount of stress you feel.
Yeah, it's a great point. We just don't have stress,
and it's like a handle of Jack at a time. You're just handling and handling and handling it.
Exactly.
I've heard Wapple say this before, and he says it exactly like this. He said that stress can be a confusing.
Yeah, just watch out for those whole homes.
Yeah.
That can be a confusing thing for anybody. Women are great at multitasking, they say. These are the reasons why it's great to be a woman. Women are great at multitasking.
I think there's like a scientific reason behind like why women can multitask and men can't.
Does it say here? It doesn't really give that scientific explanation. Men showed more expended energy when asked to multitask. We show more expended energy, whatever that means, than women do. Which means that women can multitask more easily without spending so much mental energy. Okay, whatever. I try not to multitask ever. One thing at a time. That's the way I operate. Women are more financially independent. There are more dudes still living at home with their folks than women.
Yeah, I would say that's true from my experience from the people that I know.
Yeah, me too. God damn it, or dang it, I had another thought and I lost it. Maybe I'll get back to it. Women are more financially independent. Less ladies are living at home with their parents than dudes.
Nice. Win. That's a win.
Sorry, I was just picturing the dudes that I know who are still living with their parents. and I started laughing. Women have stronger hearts. Cardiovascularly speaking, you are stronger than we dudes. We fall out. And, you ladies have stronger hearts.
Yeah, probably not emotionally speaking.
No, not emotionally speaking. God dang it. So there you go.
It's great to be a woman.
Is there Name one bad thing. Is there? What's the worst thing about being a woman?
There's plenty, but on a lighter note, I would say probably the whole period thing.
Sure.
That's not fun.
I'm glad I don't have to experience that.
Oh, I missed one. I missed one of these reasons why it's great to be a woman. And this sucks because a lot of you women live with men. Women have stronger senses of smell. Oh, no. Oh, God.
That's cool.
You think it's...
Really?
I would, if I lived with a man, I would hope that my sense of smell went away.
My mom has a crazy good sense of smell, but I think that's because she quit smoking cigarettes. Geez, like forever ago now, probably almost 10 years. And ever since then, she just has a heightened sense of smell. She can smell if you smoked a cigarette like a week ago. It's impressive.
Yeah, you're not be able to get away with anything around mom.
No, absolutely not.
I think that's pretty common. If you're a longtime cigarette smoker and someone lights one across town, there's something about cigarette smokers where they can catch it before the rest of us do.
My mom used to tell me that women had eyes in the back of their heads, so you could never get away with anything.
Yep.
She could see you doing anything. Fun Size Jesus said, we can multitask like a son of a bitch and look good while doing it. What up, ladies? You rule. Peace sign emoji.
Yeah.
I love it.
Can't argue with that.
Ladies in the house. That kind of a thing. All right, like I said, Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, you got them coming. Happy birthday to Not Munching Jesus. Happy 48th to Plant Ang Jesus from Kiss and Squeeze Jesus. Shout out to our friend Dog Grooming Anal Gland Expressing Jesus. She's been trying to trap a cat that was lost for over 2 weeks behind the Tin Shed in Savage, and wanted to thank all the guys that work in the area for helping her. She's finally found the cat today. Happy golden birthday to Hazel, a.k.a. Hazel Bussin, turning the big 08 today from Dad, Janelle Klein's side piece, Jesus. Another reminder that Sunday marks the beginning of daylight saving time. Move the clocks up an hour beginning 2 a.m. Sunday morning. Happy International Women's Day to Ashley and the sisterhood, as you are loved and appreciated, as you all should be. And have a great weekend to everyone, except Dana.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.